Hello, stupid heads! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TFG After Dark. Yes, Maddie is back in the host chair. What do you know? I'm not dead. As to some people may have hoped. No, I'm just kidding. We're back. We're gonna have a little fun tonight. Let's have a little chat. Let's go around and introduce everybody's here. It's Nikki and blank. Go stupid.
I just get the soundboard on, and I was a little late on that one.
Yeah, apparently.
Waiting for Devin. He said he'd be here. What the hell, guys? I mean, I have this lightsaber here, and it has this little attachment here. And if Devin brings his lightsaber, we could put it together, and then it'll be a double-bladed lightsaber that I can hit people with. We actually used these earlier tonight, and he hurt my pinky.
Nikki likes to play with the glow stick of destiny. And Mr. Aaron, who brings the news.
Hello. Yes, we are here this week. Pull it up. Christy has said it best. Good week to be a Marvel fan. There's a lot of Marvel shit this week. That'll be a bulk of it.
Was there?
And
more than you think.
Oh yeah, more than there was. And of course, his team's out of the playoffs as well. Both of our teams hit the deck. He is Mr. Rex and Andor.
Hey guys, gotta still support the Rex and Andor. Gotta get Michael on to Andor because he should be on there. But it's not a great time to be a sports fan for Matt. Colts get bounced out of a playoff game we should have won, but it's okay because the team we lost to is currently kicking the shit out of the team Matt's team lost to. The Chicago Bulls are blowing games like a hooker blows any other dude. But you know what? It's all good because we're going to get Bud Dupree on the Colts. So our defense is going to be even scarier. You won't be able to stop our defensive line at that point. And I have no idea who our quarterback's going to be. Phillip Rivers, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, or somebody else.
And apparently looking at my screen, Hawaii has been taken over.
Yum. Yum, yum. Gizmo caca. Yum. Yum, yum. Yum. Stay down there. Woo! Sorry. I've been taking over. We got gremlins in the works. Woo! I was lost. I got lost a little bit because there was some talk of people who throw balls for enjoyment, and then there was a bunch of names I didn't know. I thought it would maybe Congress people, but no, it was foosball players. I don't know of this which you speak.
I mean hookers, porn stars.
Now hookers, I got hookers. As soon as you said hookers, I was back in. I went hookers. Okay, I know about that. I mean, I don't know about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about it, but I know I've heard of.
Right. I was just going to ask, Alan, how does your wife feel about you knowing about hookers?
She's in the other room, and she can't really hear me very well, so she don't watch this anyway, so we all good. I mean, I don't know nothing about no hookers.
Okay.
There is a creepy representation when you darken the lights there, Matt, and Grogu is kind of half in and half out. Right. That was really creepy, but very effective. I think they should use that in Mandalorian 3.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever show he's going to show up in. He's going to pop up in.
I would turn my
pop
TV
up in WandaVision.
I don't have a baby Yoda to contribute, but I can turn the lights off.
Well, all it does is make us see your shining, beautiful face.
Thank you.
I need to do a favor. Yeah, Aaron, you're looking very luminous today.
Very luminous. But you got this flicker behind you, and that's kind of creepy. So you are.
Is the sound good?
Weird.
Yeah, you're good.
I can hear you, Nikki.
Yes.
I'm glad I can't see.
I meant. Oh wait, I have that one.
It's love. It's all love.
I need to
a long day.
5 windows for you guys.
You had a long day. How was your day?
It was great, except for I had to do a Jurassic Adventure tour with that much prep time. So there you go.
So in other words, they put your ass in the suit and you had to walk around and
I luckily didn't have to wear a suit today.
Nice.
That was nice. I just had to take people through set pieces, which was much, much better. 1 second, please.
She heard
Okay.
that.
Constantly a father.
I
It's
love
his
how he
wife.
says that. I love how he says that, and all of a sudden we thought he was talking to somebody else, and then he just gets quiet.
I like that.
What are you
So,
doing talking about
guys?
hookers, Alan?
It's mysterious. We can fill in what he's saying. Like,
See,
let's try
the
to.
best thing about this is we're still in his ear while he's trying to communicate with his child.
True, yes. That was the best thing about it. But here's the
And
request I just got.
he's trying not to laugh.
I'm trying not to laugh. Here's what the request I just got. There is a pond behind my house.
Okay.
We're on the pond. We on actually an old local ia kuapa, which is not kuapa, it's a different style, but it's still a local ia. Mini fish pond. And my daughter has informed me they have lost a ball in the pond. So she just instructed me to go get the kayak so I can go get the ball. No? No?
Well, I mean,
How about you dropped in the pond? Get it your damn self.
Where
I
did
mean,
my
is
face
it
go?
Is it dark in Hawaii yet?
No, not yet.
Oh,
It's only 5:40, so we still got.
Good.
It's after light.
Good
I
for
mean,
you.
that didn't work. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. I got
That's what she
gremlins.
said. You got gremlins.
My
I
dog's
really
gremlins.
like that. I really like that gremlin. Like, I was a huge fan of Gremlins growing up, and it's just
I
Nikki, you're
love
back.
this thing.
Yeah, I didn't know
I'm
I
trying
was
to
out.
get.
You could've
So
told me
this
that,
one is
guy.
Stripe.
I love
Real
it.
hair.
You did it on purpose.
Oh, we just assumed you turned your camera off.
We just thought you, disappeared for life.
I mean, you were still talking, so we knew you were
Shitty.
still here.
I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on.
So, okay. So Chris brought up it's a good week to be a Marvel fan. I guess I'll drop this little bit of tad bit information here. Tomorrow over on my channel, sometime throughout the day, myself and a couple of others will be going live on the Warrior Clan YouTube
Can I
channel.
do that?
We're gonna be yeah, you can come on. We're gonna discuss. And we're gonna discuss, I almost said Mandalorian. What? WandaVision. Episodes 1 and 2. Did everybody here actually get to watch WandaVision yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Aaron, I know when we talked
I
last night, you
consumed
hadn't
WandaVision.
seen it yet. I know you
I
hadn't
watched
seen
it this morning.
I didn't just watch it. I
real-
consumed it.
Real quickly, don't go into spoilers or anything like that. I personally absolutely fucking loved it. Like I told Aaron, I have no idea what's going on. I'm a huge fan of the House of M series. And I am so enthralled. I've already watched it 3 times. And I tend to watch it when I'm done here
damn it.
again.
Ugh.
So while Nikki cusses and screams and shit and goes dark
And it
again.
goes dark again.
I'm here. I'm right here.
It got all dark for a minute. Nikki, what did you think of WandaVision?
I don't see my problem with the show is a little bit of a pacing thing. Like I don't love it. I like it. I'm intrigued because I'll consume anything MCU. But my problem is that if this was a movie, if WandaVision was a movie, we would have gotten the plot by now. And it's a little bit. We're interested because we know that it's Wanda and Vision, but I don't feel any differently than I felt after I watched the first trailer for this. We didn't. It's one of those shows where, like, even without spoiling, like what happens in the episodes, you don't see what really anything other than what we already know. We know what we knew before. Before I thought she was in hell, I still think she's in hell. So
Well, Aaron and I were talking about this before we got, before not going into spoiler territory last night. It's also going to be 4.5 hours long. I mean, if you look at it, 9 episodes, half hour piece. That's 4.5 episodes. We're only like a fourth of the way through it. So, Aaron, what did you think?
Yeah, so doing my best to stay away from anything spoilery. I really liked it. I think there's a reason they aired these 2 episodes together. I think that because the critics were shown episodes 1, 2, and 3, and the critic reviews were talking about how you start to see by the end how it comes together. I think these 2 episodes were aired together on purpose as the setup so that they could make you wait for the beginning of the payoff in episode 3. But I really like I really, really like where it's going so far. I don't mind that we don't know anything because I think the gimmick they're running with is interesting. They actually do begin to show you what's happening. And again, I guess if we're not touching anything spoilery, I guess I'll stay away from based off of
within reason. I mean, if it's gonna like
really aren't spoilers.
Here's what I'll say.
Without spoilers. Hold on, time out. Let's just fucking do this. Go.
There aren't any.
Okay, this is what I believe. Based off of everything that's in these first 2 episodes, if you really think about it and put it together, I think something has happened in the real world that set her down some sort of bad mental track, and she's being held at a sword facility with different government groups working to help her.
Changed the acronym, by the way.
Because you hear
Jimmy
Yang, not Jimmy. I forget the character's
name.
Randall Park's voice.
Yeah,
and Tiana Paris, who is already confirmed to be cast as Monica Rambeau, is Geraldine in the 2nd episode. So you know that they are planting pieces of what's happening in the real world into the virtual, into whatever this world is that she's created in her mind. So I think she's actually being held at a sword facility, and they've brought in different assets to work on her, which is why I think, because Randall Park's character works for, I don't remember if he works for S.H.I.E.L.D.
He used to work for the FBI, but that was pre-snap. But SWORD, they changed the acronym. In the comic books, it was Sentient World Observation and Response / Research Division. In the show, in the MCU, it's Sentient Weapon Observation Research Response Division. So that's different. It used to be just space base, but now it seems like sentient weapon. That means enhanced individuals, mutants, people who are so powerful that they themselves are a lethal weapon, much like Nicolas Cage's fist in Con Air.
Yeah. Right. And so that's what I think is happening. Like, as much as I think it would be interesting to see a hell element brought into it, I think it's the time has passed since Endgame.
And there's a line.
I think the death of Vision is something she's clearly struggled to cope with. I think that sent her down a bad path that's starting to have outward effects because of her powers. And I think she's entrapped at a sword facility, and you have Monica Rambeau, whatever her role is in this. You have Randall Park. You have they haven't introduced her yet, but Kat Dennings is back as Darcy Lewis. And it's been a number of years, so you'd have to assume if she followed a science track, she's playing some sort of role into this that way. I still don't know what Catherine Hahn's piece is in this. I don't know.
Did you hear a line about the devil? There's a throwaway line about the devil where somebody said something about the devil is in the details.
He's in more than that.
And then Catherine Hahn responds, he's in more than just that. Yeah. So that's like the hell angle. That I'm getting at.
So wait a minute. Sorry. So Sword is now Chris said some the Fury thing in Far From Home, which I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
They're not just 100%.
Are they basically like a subset of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Because it's the new S.H.I.E.L.D.
So this because unfortunately this right now is getting into territory in the comic books that I'm not familiar with, so that's why I'm
Sword is
kind of
if S.H.I.E.L.D. was a national thing, Sword is kind of like the international thing. It's planetary. Yeah, exactly. It's planetary.
But it seems like Sword, they're just kind of generalizing it because they want to use like those S.H.I.E.L.D. type storylines on Earth. So they made it sentient weapon so that now Sword's going to be dealing with threats both on Earth and intergalactic, because in the comic books, S.H.I.E.L.D. is dealing with the stuff on Earth, while Sword is intergalactic threats in the world. But this is sentient weapons, so they're dealing with people that are also weapons. So, and I think it's interesting that they're framing them that way, because I think that's setting up a lot for mutants, mutant rights, all that stuff, where you're treating us like weapons, but for people.
So, I want to throw in my
Oh.
2 cents before I don't get an opportunity to. And we're in spoilers, so I'll kind of go with what I'm thinking is going to happen. First off, I like it a lot. I was a little worried at first because it's TV PG. I was a little worried. Okay, it's not going to, go into kind of the dark elements. It's not going to be that creepy at all, whatever. But that first episode with the whole choking thing, that was a little eerie and a little creepy at the same time.
Creepy. Yeah, and the blood.
So, that scene kind of makes me think of what I always thought was going to happen at some point. She created this whole thing they're in, I believe. She might be with Sword, but I think maybe in her area or whatever, I don't know, room, whatnot, she creates this world. Either way, I think she creates the world because in that scene we see Vision. He kind of looks at Wanda, and he's a little like he can't do anything. He's looking all worried, scared, whatnot. And he doesn't do anything till she tells him to do something.
Be a superhero. Save.
So that's why I think that kind of plays into the whole she created this thing. I believe, and I could be wrong, in the comics, obviously they have the kids or whatever. Like you see in the trailer, she has 2 babies. I believe in the comics, they are somehow taken out of the picture, and that causes her to begin to go nuts.
They are.
I think at some point she's going to lose the kids. Like they're gonna be out of the picture when they do it. I don't think they're gonna, axe them off. I don't think you're gonna see dead kids in the show, especially with a TVPG. But they're gonna be taken out of the picture in some way.
Are you familiar? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. So they're gonna be taken out. That's gonna begin the whole thing, and then, I think after that, the next episode, it's not even gonna be brought up. She'll completely forget about it, and then, is it Angela or whatever her name is in the show? She's gonna mention
Agnes.
Okay, she's gonna mention something about the kids, and that's gonna be like either in the last episode or last episode, and that's when it goes crazy.
She wants her to have kids.
That's where I think we're gonna get Quicksilver, because remember 8 months
I can't wait for her
ago,
brother to show up.
Evan Peters 8 months ago or something like that was revealed to have a mystery role in the show. When that whole thing happens, I think that's when you're going to see him as Quicksilver in the show towards the end, because it's setting up Doctor Strange.
Absolutely.
And she says like no more mutants or whatever in House of M, and then she's going to do something like that, and it's going to go through multiple different universes and whatnot. So you're going to have maybe Toby's universe, maybe Aunt May dies in Toby's universe, maybe somebody in Garfield's, maybe his dad, because the lead saying they brought Peter's dad back from the dead for some stupid reason. He's dead again.
That was amazing.
And I think maybe with the X-Men universe, something happens, and then we're gonna get to Spider-Man 3. Yeah, maybe Fassbender's back.
Yeah.
So that's how I see the show going. It's gonna end crazy. It's a slow burn for a reason. If this was a movie, it would be much faster, because I think there's a lot that they're putting into this. I thought I love the whole the feels of like the I Love Lucy's, Bewitched, things like that. I love that Leave It to Beaver. I think for first 2 episodes, as it's building to this, because we're getting some of the little hints of there's something not right. I think so far these are pretty close to about as good as you can get pacing wise.
Yeah. I think something's up with Wanda.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan. Lay it on. All right, keep it kind of short, because we'll discuss this tomorrow. But just real brief, we've got the spoiler warning up, so if people see it on them, what did you think of WandaVision?
I thought it was awesome. Yeah, I really like it. It's definitely the most different thing that Marvel's ever done. So, I can totally understand where some people may not be totally with it, just because it is so different. But I loved it though. I love things that are kind of weird and kind of out there like that. And I'm just trying to kind of piece together what's real and what's not real. So I see things happening. I see that that guy at the end that popped out of the manhole cover with the beekeeper suit. I'm like, is
Manhole.
that real or is that like part of her?
I thought it looked like Mendo.
Yeah, like, I don't know if that was part
Didn't
of
his
her
face
like.
like kind of look
like
like
power?
Mendo?
Like Mandalorian.
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting theory, Chris, it being Hawkeye, and that's why she goes no. I think it's possible. I want to go back to something Matt touched on about the kids. I think the kids are going to play a bigger role in this than that, because one of the scenes when you actually see Vision in the comic book accurate costume, the green and yellow, they're trick-or-treating. That's Halloween. So I think those kids are going to play a bigger role in it than we
Where we're gonna
realize.
go here.
Wanda is getting
I
a new
agree.
super suit.
They're gonna get
They did
kidnapped.
show that.
Because you can't.
Yeah, and yes, we do
CBP
see and yes, we do see the Wanda, the House of M costume as well.
No,
Yes.
not even that. There's
Her
one, if you
mutant.
look at the thumbnail, the background on Disney Plus, it shows little like monitors, like a bunch of TVs, and one of them has Wanda in a new costume that
A
we
new
haven't
suit,
seen in
yeah, a new
the
outfit.
trailers
Oh,
before.
yeah.
It's not as cleavagey.
forgot about
It's
that.
more
Yeah.
a leotard with a cape. But
Yeah,
you
and
just
they're-
kind of see like the neck part, like this part. So I realized
Yeah.
that this morning. I missed that.
And hopefully, I hope they're bringing in the kids because those do become
Young Avengers.
members of the Young Avengers, and we're getting Kate
Yep.
Bishop in the Hawkeye series. So
Oh,
I
yeah, they're
hope
doing
that
that.
they're
grown up Cassie Lang.
yeah,
They're definitely
yeah,
setting
exactly.
something
So I
up.
hope they're
Yeah.
doing that. I hope they're doing the Young Avengers because
I
that
was,
would be
I was gonna
great. 'Cause I
say,
love those stories.
I think that
Oh.
kid's gonna be on Armor Wars, the War Machine show, the one that was in Jurassic World. I forget the actor's name all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ty
Oh.
Simpson?
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
he's gonna
I
be
see.
on Armor Wars. That way, you don't have to give him his own movie, but he can still like kind of pick up that
Jump in,
storyline
yeah,
from
yeah.
Iron Man 3.
And he
And-
was
That
in the
makes
game
sense.
too, so I mean, we
I was
already
gonna say,
War Machine.
but before we move on, just because you guys brought it up, I actually think, I stared at it really hard because you can kind of see into the face, but they do things to kind of try and not make you be able to see it. The guy in the suit kind of looked like Paul Bettany, so part of me thought maybe they just stuck Bettany in a suit and that'll play into something.
That's a good.
But
I thought it was Mando.
my actual theory on it is, again, because if Marvel really is going into a multiverse thing, I hate that I'm going to become the pessimist for a bit, because until I see it executed, everything you guys described just gives me a headache. I just go, what the fuck is going on? Like, none of it interests me in theory. So I'm playing everything from a realist angle. I think it's Jimmy Yang, or that's not his
Jimmy
name.
Woo?
Jimmy, whatever. Randall Park's
whatever
name.
his name is.
Yeah.
Randall Park.
Yeah.
I think it's Randall Park, or it's meant to imply Randall Park, because you hear clearly, I think what's happening is she's at a sword facility. They're trying to break through into her, because we've seen in the trailers scenes of a giant tent-like thing in a field where Park and I think Kat Dennings are shown at in the
Running,
trailer.
yeah.
I think she's in her own mind. She's shut down. They're doing everything they can to break into her mind, and we see them try and do it with the radio thing. They're referencing
That
it.
was in a thumbnail as well.
I think this is the most literal representation of it, that they're trying to break into her mind, and that's the closest they've gotten, and then she locks them back out again, and then it kind of becomes the next evolution of it. Seems like every time something happens that triggers and almost break out of her mental state, it's moving on to the next era, right? If we're mimicking sitcoms. So clearly they're moving from the 60s to the 70s at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So that's my look on it. Just wanted to throw that out
And
there.
what you said about Jimmy Woo, that was
Jimmy
another
Woo.
thumbnail with the monitors.
Yeah.
There is an
Jimmy
image
Yang
of
is an
him,
ace to me,
Monica Rambeau, and Kat Dennings.
All right. All right. Sorry, I gotta go rescue something else from the pond. So I might not be back. Wish me luck. But it was good to see you guys. I'll see some of you tomorrow, probably. Let me know times, and then beer. We got to talk about the other thing later on. All right, aloha, guys. Take care. Good to see you, Jordan, for 2 seconds.
Be safe.
Yep.
All right.
Go down.
Not good
So-
to see you there.
So I like the idea that there's so many things that could be going on with this show that none of us know. You know, it's so out there that it's bonkers. And that's what I like about it. And I like the fact that they took the second episode and it was kind of reality crashing, but they still kept that
Keep it real.
50s, 60s
Yeah.
cartoon,
Yeah.
you know,
Ooh,
you know,
Hydra.
genie feeling. Plus the watch, I
Yeah.
love.
I
Strike
freaked
Yeah,
when I
the
saw
watch, yeah,
Hydra.
that was cool.
I really got a kick out of that because the first time I watched it, I was half asleep, so I didn't catch it. And then
How many of those watches are they going to sell? You know they're going to sell those.
I already ordered one. Oh,
Oh, I can't wait.
Right.
German
So,
engineering.
I
Or
like
Swiss
that
engineering.
idea.
It was Zola.
Yeah, I was gonna say just to address it quickly.
Zola.
Chris, technically they haven't introduced Monica Rambeau, but the actress that I think the character's name was Geraldine or something
Yeah,
with a G.
Geraldine.
The
Yeah.
actress who played her is Tiana Paris, who is playing Monica Rambeau. So it is
And she
meant to be.
hesitated before she said it. Like she was like, I'm Geraldine. So Geraldine might be a cover.
Yeah, she had, and that's what I'm saying. I think what's happening is they're trying to break into her mind, and they're trying to supplant and do things to break into her mind, and that's one of them. They found a way to stick her in there, and that's exactly that scene of my name's Geraldine. Just throw something out there, boom.
She could be in the framework too. There's a thing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. called the framework, and I just thought of that. It's very much when they're put in it, when the cast is put in it, it's kind of like this alternate reality where Hydra took over the world. And that's like one of the best arcs on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They could be doing that because that's involved with the Darkhold, which is one of those
Shouldn't
books.
have used the Dark.
Yeah, one of those
It's
books
the one that's missing.
that's
in the
missing
library.
in Doctor Strange. So I think they are setting up things with the Darkhold, and with Geraldine, with the thing with Geraldine, as we know her in this episode, it could be a thing where she goes undercover with Sword and then kind of forgets what her true identity is. Yeah.
Or they said, don't just say who the fuck you are. You know, keep your story composed.
And then like she gets warped. But that's another thing is that a mind. I thought of a mind control entity.
What if this is all the Mind Stone? What if this is all just 100% the Mind Stone?
It could be because it was atomized.
When the Mind Stone went off and broke, it triggered something in her because all the Infinity Stones are kind of related to each other in a certain way. Maybe that when it was in Vision's head, and she was trying to break it, and she broke it. Maybe a part of it became a part of Wanda too, which could influence her power.
And then when Thanos atomized him, he didn't say, but like he said, he used the stones to destroy the stones. They were reduced to atoms, so they're not gone. They're just atomized. So she could essentially reconstitute.
They're still there. Officially, they're still there, though. I mean, Cap went back and put them back where they were, so it's still there. I mean, officially,
it's still out there.
Right. And real
maybe
quick,
she just wanted some robot dick, and this is what it takes to.
Oh
get
yeah,
it,
and they do use the sex robot. We do see that, even though it is PG, they totally use the fully functioning sex robot.
And that was a great little throwaway line. Wanda, get the lights.
And they're just under the covers, yeah.
And that's something that fits perfectly into that whole.
And he's going full bench.
Sitcom thing. That's exactly something.
And he stole the show for me in the first two episodes.
Oh, yeah.
He's incredible.
He belongs on a show,
especially that second episode.
Oh, the second episode was
the drunk acting.
He's stuck and he's like drunk or whatever. Yeah.
And I love the fact that they keep jumping back and forth to his human look, like we see at the beginning of Infinity War.
Well, that's a budget thing too, I think.
Well, no, because
it saves on budget. Sure.
Is hot in the suit. Like that suit is incredibly uncomfortable, they say.
I'm sure it is. Well, but most of the time, all he's got to do is they got to paint his hands and put the mask on most of the time.
With regular clothes, yeah, that kind of works.
With regular clothes.
Especially if it's black and white, they don't even have to do that.
But I like the fact that they actually show him, having to go into human form to go into the world, to go to work or to
secret identity.
And I love the fact, like, are you a machine? Are you an adding machine? No, I'm not. I'm a plug-and-based
human.
I just So
we could talk more tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Are we going to get to the Thrawn news? Is that on the agenda tonight?
I didn't know there was Thrawn news. So,
So
Yo,
Lars
Nikki-
Mikkelsen is rumored, or I don't know if it's confirmed, but they're saying
That's not
he's
yet.
going to play Grand Admiral Thrawn in live action. And my first thought of this was that Ashley Eckstein must have bombed her live action audition, because I don't think they're just giving these jobs to the people that had the voices in the Clone Wars and Rebels, because they gave Rosario Dawson the Ahsoka role, and that could have been a Kathleen Kennedy production thing. Like, they wanted a big name actress for that role. But the fact that now they're doing Lars Mikkelsen as Thrawn, that tells me that they just did not want her to play Ahsoka, because they took they took Bo-Katan with Katie Sackhoff. They're doing Lars Mikkelsen with Thrawn, so they're gonna pick and choose which ones they take with them and which ones they don't. But wait, are they going to keep the actor that plays Ezra? Are they going to keep the actor that plays Sabine? For me, that'd be okay. Hera, that's another one.
Well, I have
I
another.
think they'll keep Sabine.
I,
the
I have
rest of them
another. I have another justification. If this is rumored, I have another justification as to why it could be that way.
Yeah,
And I looked it up just because I needed to back myself up to be sure.
she's not an actress.
From everything I could find, the last live action thing actually Eckstein appeared in was 2007.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
think
just not an
anything
actress.
against her. Katie Sackhoff is a live action actress before she's a voice actress. Lars Mikkelsen has live action acting experience. I don't think it's anything against her. She's not an actress. She's a voice actress. They're two different types of people.
No,
So
I agree with you. I hope that's what it is. I truly hope that's what it is.
I don't think they gave her an audition because she's not an actress.
I think they did. I really think they gave her an audition, because I don't think, it's one of those things where it was an option.
And yes,
so when they
Malcolm,
signed Lars Mikkelsen, Disney already owned it.
I looked it up. You are correct, Malcolm. It is a rumor. It is not confirmed.
Rumor, yes. Yeah. But if it's a rumor, all this is for naught. Like all this discussion is for naught. But they really are picking and choosing, which that is the point I'm trying to make. They're picking and choosing which ones they're going to trans. And Ashley Eckstein could have said, no, thank you. I don't want to do it in live action. Keep me to voice acting. I'm a voice actress. Because that's one of those things that I really respect about those voice actors, that you don't really know who their names are other than Ashley Eckstein. They belong doing that stuff in animation. Now, when you get to live action, I'd prefer a live action actor to do performance capture, because something that I've said about the Transformers movies is that they need to cast someone as Optimus Prime. They need to cast an actual person. And they're saying heresy out there, the Transformers fans. But once you get like an actual person acting and seeing their emotions, that's what's going to connect you to a character like Optimus Prime. That's what's going to connect you to an actor like Thrawn, a character like Thrawn and Ahsoka. You're going to like see emotions in performance capture. But with Thrawn, they can do that all practically. You just have blue skin, red contacts.
I agree with your point.
Yeah.
I think Transformers is a bad example because I think they have done it well without needing to do mocap.
I mean, they've done it successfully. Well,
and that's Bumblebee. Because I think they, in the context of that film,
and
I think
they cast a real actor for Bumblebee's voice. Because I thought that for 5 seconds he had it, but that Maze Runner kid was good. Like, he was good at that. I believed that like that was better than any other voice that they had for Bumblebee in the past. It was like, whoa, this actually seems like a soldier and not like just some, hi, I am my kid's robot.
You do not recast Optimus Prime if
that's
you
what
can
he
get
says.
that guy.
Go with Lawrence Fishburne.
His voice is too iconic.
Performance capture.
His voice is so iconic.
Okay,
I know
so,
that.
Hold on.
Even Hasbro doesn't want
Michael
to use
Fassbender or some other dude playing
Optimus Prime. We're getting off track.
It's fine. We can get off track. Let the conversation flow where it is, because Matt obviously has an opinion on this.
Because Malcolm brought it up in the comment. Let me
voice acting is a different kind of performance.
Let me not backtrack, but just clarify what I meant. Voice acting is absolutely acting, and I think it does take a certain set of skill. That's why you can't just take a celebrity actor and plop them in a voice acting.
And there's a lot of crossover.
And it doesn't always work. There is crossover, but it doesn't always work one way or the other.
Mark Hamill does.
My thing with it, though, is she doesn't have a lot of actual on-set acting experience, and so that's why I honestly I don't believe she was ever considered, because if I think she was, we would have heard about it. Because even if Lars, because like we know Thrawn's going to be in the show, right? That's just a foregone conclusion. Even if Lars Mikkelsen doesn't end up being in the role, the fact that it got this far that we've heard about it means that there is serious consideration. I don't think they ever actually considered her, because with Rise of Skywalker, when they brought Ahsoka in, it was no questions asked. Yeah, Ashley Eckstein's going to be the voice of Ahsoka in that film. In terms of actually playing the character in a live-action portrayal, it's not something she's done in over 10 years. I honestly don't think they ever considered her. And that's no disrespect to her. It's just not her art. It's not her acting.
I hope she said no. Like deep down, I really hope like they asked her or they offered her an audition and just said, no, thank you. That's not what I do. But another interesting thing that they could do is they could have a body double or stunt double or just a person in the blue makeup and then dub over him, because there is precedent for that.
Ray Park.
They've done it with Ray Park twice. They had Peter Serafinowicz in Phantom Menace, and then they brought Sam Witwer in from the Clone Wars to dub over him for Solo. And I think anything else going forward with Darth Maul, I think that's what you're going to get. Because especially with Ray Park, they always did that with Ray Park. So if they wanted to set a precedent here with Thrawn, they could just start from the top and just say, let's get a guy that looks like Thrawn, dub over him, and then we'll always do it like that. Because for Thrawn, I think that could work because he's a chiss and he's a villain. So almost having him sound like he's in a different room, that his voice is projecting in a different way because he is not human, I think that would kind of work for him.
I don't agree. I think if you're going to cast somebody to play Thrawn, you should have the same guy do the voice and the actual movement and whatnot. Because
I'm just happy we're getting Thrawn.
The difference between like Maul, like recently, and you know, somebody like Lars Mikkelsen is with Thrawn, I should say, is in Solo. It was just a short little thing. Obviously, they were going to have a bigger presence for him, but I think Sam Witwer's voice is iconic enough at this point. I mean, honestly, I think if you go up to most fans, I think they'd agree. But if you can get Lars,
that's him.
You don't need it. But let's say they didn't get Lars. They're gonna go for a big name because it's, that character.
I mean, Lars isn't a big name either.
No, but
Lars isn't a big name. But the thing with Lars is he's budget.
Yeah, and he's already had experience playing Thrawn with the voice. So if you were gonna go after who I would want them to go for first, a Michael Fassbender. You don't cast Michael Fassbender to be just the body and then get Lars to do the voice.
No. Just Fassbender.
If you don't get Pierce Brosnan, then you don't get somebody to do
I was thinking of them doing it cheap.
But I don't look. The character's big enough. They won't go cheap.
Yeah. Do it.
I mean, you're talking not only people that watch Rebels that love Thrawn. You're talking fans that read the books and whatnot after.
Yeah, the Thrawn trilogy, Heir of the Empire, of course.
That's why people who didn't even watch Rebels, when they heard Thrawn, they were going nuts.
That's all we had in the early 90s.
Yeah, I don't want Robert Downey Jr. to play Thrawn.
No, I don't want him to play anybody in Empire.
I mean, I'd be fine with him being in Star Wars, not Thrawn.
I would too. I just don't want him in the era that they play in. Like, I'd want him somewhere else.
And if you're going to get Robert Downey Jr., he's not going to be like, well, I'll do the, the face, and somebody else can do the voice. He's going to want to do the voice, and the voice
that's a different.
It'd be a little too he's a great
I wasn't
actor,
even insinuating that. I was thinking somebody with like the face. Like I was thinking with somebody literally a paid model, essentially, like or a paid stuntman, like Ray Park.
Right, but why pay for
Ray Park's work was stuntman. And have you ever heard him talk? Like he's got a squeaky voice, and I love Ray Park. He's great. I want to fight him in like a toad. What happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
I think the only reason why they even cast him was The only reason why I think they casted Ray Park was because he can do the moves that George Lucas needed him to do. That was it. If he, if he couldn't do it, he wouldn't have been. If they could have found some guy who could do the voice, as well as what, Lucas wanted, they would have gotten, that guy to do the movements and the voice. But
what's funny is they used Peter Serafinowicz before they got Sam Witwer because Ron Howard didn't know about Sam Witwer.
Right. But,
okay. Time out real quick. I am so tired of everybody throwing anything Mads Mikkelsen. Leave him alone.
He's already been in the Star Wars.
Been in Star Wars.
He's already been in Star Wars too.
He was good. But it's not everybody. It's just Diaz.
Right.
God damn it, Diaz! Stop.
Anyway, before we got Melkinson involved, Mr. Milk. How Disney's going to look at it is, why would we pay 2 people to do one job when we can pay one person?
You can pay less. That's what I was thinking, because they could pay less. Because Fassbender's expensive.
Bro, are you telling me that because Paul Bettany didn't... Wait a minute. You're telling me Disney paid Paul Bettany less to play Jarvis, even though we knew eventually he was going to lead up into Vision. He becomes Vision.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Paul Bettany's Paul Bettany's budget. Paul Bettany's filmography is not successful. Like, he had some early roles where he's good. No, he is great in the movies that he's in. Don't get me wrong. He's great in the movies that he's in, but they're not successful movies.
He wasn't a blockbuster actor. And also
he's character roles.
There you go.
And he's great. He whipped himself in the
just to refute what you just said, if we're using Bettany specifically, Vision and Jarvis were 2 different roles. He was cast as Jarvis. No,
that evolved. That was a natural.
I know this for a fact. When Whedon was making Age of Ultron, he had his choice of anyone for Vision. He could have recast. He chose to go to Bettany and say, "Would you like to become Vision?"
That was Whedon.
Jarvis was never never cast as Jarvis with the knowledge of, hey, you're going to do this for so many films, and then you're going to become Vision.
That almost makes me forgive him for Justice League.
Then got cast as Vision by Whedon, who thought it would be a good idea to naturally, since Jarvis was going to be built into him, he was like, if you want it, it's a natural progression.
That's beautiful.
And of course, you're going to say yes.
No, I love that.
Okay.
That's the best thing I've ever heard Joss Whedon do.
Yes,
I didn't know that. Oh, I'm sorry. He did Firefly. God damn it.
Okay. Anyway.
God damn it. No. He did Firefly. God damn it. That is one of the greatest 12 episodes of TV ever made.
I said he doesn't just do bad things on sets. You didn't get my thing.
No, I was going to have my Ray Fisher
joke. Anyway.
Oh no! Yay Fisher! Oh,
my Yay Fisher joke. Anyway.
I was going after Nikki for that shot at Joss Whedon. I'm sorry.
I've only ever seen the first 2 episodes of Firefly, and
God damn it, you're fucking fired. It's great.
No, we just never finished because I didn't see anything in that show that I didn't see on any sci-fi channel show that gets 3 seasons and then is canceled without resolving.
You're so full of shit, bro. You need to watch those.
It's the template for those things.
No, it's not.
I'll finish it. We will finish it this week, and then we will revisit this. Does that sound good? Is that fair?
It better be.
We can do a whole video on Firefly, because we're actually going to do it.
Anyway, Nikki, to get to the whole budget thing, I'm going to assume Thrawn is going to have, because, the character he is, he's going to have a big presence, not just in
he needs to be
Ahsoka
physical too.
And these other shows. He's going to have a big presence in probably Mandalorian. He's going to have obviously a big presence in Ahsoka and, maybe some other shows that are coming there.
Yes.
They're not going to cast based on budget. If you're going to,
I hope not. I hope you're right.
For Thrawn, money does not apply. They're Disney. They don't care.
So in that case, money. I don't think it is Lars.
Hey, look, if Lars, fuck you, Baltimore Ravens. You just got beat by the Buffalo Bills, you fucking bitches.
They probably have a player named Lars.
Yeah.
But Lars, the reason why they would look at Lars is because Lars has voiced Thrawn before. Yeah. That's one reason why he's
or it could be an option. They could have signed him with a live action option.
maybe
Because with
but
Bo-Katan with Katie
I don't
Sackhoff,
think-
Dave Filoni told her, "Hey, you could do this in live action someday."
I mean, I
Right,
don't
but
think
there's a
Disney-
difference between
No, it
Filoni
wasn't
making the
official. It wasn't
comment
in
and
his
the
contract, but it could be in
option.
Lars's contract.
Like, I don't think Disney was thinking we're going to do an Ahsoka show and we're going to have Thrawn in there. I don't think
No.
that was
No.
in their thoughts.
They
when
don't have the
signed Lars.
foresight of Marvel.
But
They're having Thrawn everywhere.
like, it's Kathleen Kennedy we're talking about. Okay, she thinks about the movies, and that's pretty much it.
Kathleen Kennedy is your mom.
Yes, she is.
It is
And I
everybody's
love her
mom.
very much. I love her
And I love
very
my
much.
mom. Yeah, I love
She-
Kathleen
She's
Kennedy.
a great, great, great human being. Anyway,
Jurassic Park.
Malcolm's getting put in timeout.
Anyway,
What happened?
Why doesn't Malcolm
you know,
come in here with us? Water's warm. Come in.
and then,
That was-
because
okay.
Baltimore kicked the shit out of
Oh,
Baltimore.
boy.
Anyway, to get back to it. The reason why they're even looking at Lars is because Lars has already voiced Thrawn. Money doesn't apply in the sense of they'll go after whoever is the best for the role. It could be, it could be Fassbender. Fassbender might be best for the role. It could be, get that out of here. It could be, get that out of here. It could be
I was
that out of here.
trying to.
Anyway,
Stop clicking it before I'm trying to get it out of here.
Anyway.
That was the lock
they're
of a
looking at
car
everybody.
door. Like you hit it while the person's opening it.
Right. But they're looking at pretty much everybody that they think could play that role, and that includes Lars.
Everybody.
If Lars, they think,
They're
can
auditioning.
pull off the performance, they're probably going to go with Lars to kind of connect everything.
Do you think they're auditioning?
I think, yeah. I think that's something
Yeah.
they're doing. Like I said, and it's not just big. They might go after some guy that we've never seen in anything before.
Right.
You know?
Because
They-
with
they-
Rosario Dawson, she was
might
a
be
fan favorite.
True.
Yeah.
That is true.
I think they
obviously,
recruited her rather than audition.
And I think Filoni
Unless
is,
actually
obviously
Epstein.
playing a heavy part into the whole casting and whatnot. But I don't. Maybe I'm playing Thrawn, guys. Maybe I'm playing Thrawn. You never know.
I
They're
would
looking
love
at
that.
Everybody. Looking at
Imagine
everybody.
Thrawn and Rex in Andor.
Look, all they have to do is give me a lifetime.
He could be
pass
in Andor
and Disney.
too. He could be in
Um,
Andor.
But it could be maybe Rex or
Yeah.
Andor.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Rex
so
on
that's
Andor.
the whole thing. Money's not. I don't think they care about budget in this sense. They're paying movie,
I hope not.
type
I
of
hope
money.
you're right.
So I mean,
I am hopeful. Rebellions are built on hope, and so is Rex.
look, like I said, maybe they already planned this out during a celebration in Chicago when they had Pierce Brosnan on the
Maybe
banner.
it's Tamara Morrison too. Ooh, yes. Oh my God. Say more. Say more. Everything you're saying is just like I was on board with the Lars Mikkelsen thing, but
Yeah.
you keep saying things that make me want to believe you.
Right.
You're God.
This
I
is
know.
a
You
cool-
I
have
am.
all the great ideas.
I am
Hey
God.
Jordan, how you doing down there? What are your thoughts?
Hey, Jordan, what's up?
Hey, man. Want to fight?
For me, like I'm not too picky about it. Like it's like just get whoever best for the role. I mean, I think that like definitely they're all gonna get auditioned. Like Lars Mikkelsen's gonna get an audition. They're gonna go after some A-list people. They're gonna go after a whole bunch of different people. But I mean, whoever fits best for the role, I think that's who they have to go. I think they're just gonna go with A-list talent just to have an A-list person in there. I honestly would prefer that they don't pick someone A-list because the A-list people honestly kind of take me out of it a little bit. But, I mean, just as ever best for the role. I mean, I'm happy with it. I mean, I really hope they don't do RDJ, like for sure. I don't want that.
Do you-
but, I mean,
Do you
beyond
think
that,
that did you think they auditioned Ashley Eckstein? Like you were just mentioning auditions.
Yeah.
Do you think that
I
they
think they did.
auditioned?
Oh yeah,
for, like,
I think they definitely.
you do? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I-
they definitely did. I've heard rumors that she had a horrible audition, but
Yeah.
those rumors aren't necessarily confirmed. But I've heard them floating out that she just didn't really nail the role, so they went with someone
It's a
else.
different
so.
art form.
Right. Exactly.
I wouldn't say
I
that
mean-
she didn't know the role.
And-
She knows the role. Oh, didn't
and
nail
you-
it. Okay, I hear what you're saying.
and you could definitely tell when voice actors have trouble physically emoting
Oh, yeah.
because there's a difference between being able to get the emotion in your voice and then being able to get it in your voice but on your face as well. Because something
Rosario,
I've,
love her face.
something
yeah,
I've
it was
noticed
amazing.
is I especially with voice actors, when you watch them act, there's nothing behind their eyes. Like you
No.
can emote, you can emote with your eyes
Like
more
Mark.
than anything.
Hamill
Okay,
gets it.
actually, breaking news: Thrawn has officially been casted according to Lucasfilm.
It's me.
Lars?
Really?
You're
You.
you're Thrawn.
I think
That's
it's Rex.
Come on.
I turned it down. Look, I was told by Filoni, it came down to me and this guy, and I said, look, I mean, the money sounds great and all they were offering me, but you got to cast this guy. It's Tommy Wiseau, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy Wiseau is Thrawn.
Okay.
Yes.
He had you on a
Oh, hi,
hook
Mark.
for a second.
Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark.
Favreau was sick and tired of everybody doing fan casting, so he said, screw it, we're casting Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, hi, Mark. I have to admit,
Somebody make that spoof.
the
Somebody
room,
made a Tommy Wiseau voicing Thrawn video already.
I made
yeah?
a Mando
All right,
spoof
all
for Wonder Woman.
I actually went
Got
to.
like 200,000 views in a day. It's amazing.
I actually
Yeah.
went to a special screening of Tommy Wiseau's movie, The Room. Room.
Good for you.
Oh my God, that movie is
That was
just.
directed towards me.
Were you throwing shit at the screen and everything, like spoons and all that?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Was
Oh
that-
yeah,
was that
we left
crazy?
that. Well, it was funny is they had that, and then right after was Rocky Horror. It was great. I mean,
Oh, nice. It's
um,
a good double feature.
yeah. I had to change in between. That's all I can say. I had to change in between.
Okay, so what we're hearing is Maddie rock the fishnets. Little bit.
Right.
All right. So I was
anyways.
gonna say,
Okay, my
Oh.
turn, Aaron. My turn. No, we're gonna. I forgot to pull those pictures. Aaron, talk for a few minutes while I get these pictures pulled up.
what pictures are you pulling up? I'm confused as to where.
The
This is
ones
photos
that I
from
asked.
your section.
The ones I asked you to pull yesterday.
The dick
Oh,
pics?
Mortal Kombat
you want to go?
pictures?
Okay, you want to do that? Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta,
we're gonna
you gotta
go.
hold my camera roll.
I'm gonna go while you show the dick pics.
Are you sure?
No,
I'll just-
it's not. It's not dick pics, but if it's something to make nerds splooge, yesterday I'll do a live version of this. Yesterday we saw the first images from Mortal Kombat get released. The film, which is set to release in April of 2021.
Dude, you
is
have to
produced
remind
by
me so I can get
Disney.
that soundbite ready.
Did it not come up?
Nope, it's there. You're good.
Okay, because my computer's running slow all of a sudden.
It is clearly running slow, but it is up. Don't worry. I can see the delay in the mouse.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
So
There
here
we
we go.
go.
This is the first image of Kung Lao and
Liu Kang.
oh God, Liu Kang. Thank you.
Liu Kang.
I was like Liu something, but not Ludi Lin, the actor playing
Who
him.
is that actor?
So the actor playing Liu Kang is Ludi Lin, who is the Black Power Ranger in the most recent Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
All right.
I love him.
That's where you got
He's the
me.
best.
Yes, the film also stars Makad Brooks from Supergirl as Jax. And his picture's in here somewhere as well.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. There's an image of Jax. That arm looks a little pre-viz, but
I think it looks pretty good. Then we're gonna go to Sub-Zero. We'll move up to Sub-Zero.
Nice.
What?
I actually really like these pictures. Like I've been extremely excited about it. Then I'm guessing this is Johnny Cage.
Yep. Looks like Johnny Cage.
Yeah, people. I love Mortal
There's
Kombat.
somewhere. There's supposed to be a 10-minute like opening shot somewhere, and then we have Sonya Blade.
Oh, there you go.
I just want the movie to start and they're already fighting.
so I was going to say I can read out as well. With these pictures, we also got the official log line for the film, which is once in a generation, an interdimensional martial arts tournament hosted by the sorcerer Shang Tsung will determine the fate of the opposing realm if the reigning outworld is being declared the victor. The protector of Earthrealm, Raiden, enlists mixed martial arts fighter named Cole Young to join his clique of fighters to participate in the tournament, only to learn about his hidden lineage. So the actual lead in the film, actor Louis Tan, whose biggest role to date was either in Iron Fist or in Deadpool 2, is playing a character created for the film in this Cole Young character.
Who is he on
who-
Iron Fist?
I can find that in just a second.
I think it was a Drunken Master.
But the film also stars Ludi Lin as Liu Kang, Joe Tasilam as Sub-Zero, Tabinel Asano as Raiden, Mikad Brooks as Jax Briggs, Josh Lawson as Kano. And other characters in the film include Sonya Blade, Shang Tsung, Scorpion, Kung Lao, Melina, Nitara, Cabal.
I'm so excited for this fucking movie. Like, you have
Same here.
no clue. Like, I am a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Like, Caleb and I have been playing it for a long time. He was Zhao Chen. Zhao Chang in Iron Fist.
And he was Shatterstar in Deadpool 2.
Was
Here,
that the Drunken Master?
Shatterstar.
Shatterstar. Oh my god.
Here, Nikki.
Zhu Shang is not the I don't believe it's the Drunken Master.
I'm trying to think of who it
Nikki,
was.
look, fucker.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
No, I remember him.
Yeah.
He was cool.
That's the lead of the movie.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna fix anything.
I'm excited for it because of the fact that they got a lower budget. They had to go lower budget just to keep it R-rated. I don't mind that because they're going full hardcore R-rated Mortal Kombat. And it's weird. I like the fact that it's not, studio heavy. It's very hardcore, and I'm gonna watch it at midnight when it drops on HBO Max. What can I say?
Oh yeah.
And,
I will do my best to see it in the theater.
well, yeah. If I have the opportunity to see it in theater, of course I'm gonna take it. But if not, I'll do both. I don't give a shit.
So I believe that, this comment put in is off of when I read the description with the character. So I actually don't mind the fact that the lead in the film is an original character. Chris referenced the Resident Evil movies. And yeah, I actually kind of agree with Malcolm's comment. The issue with the Resident Evil movies goes much deeper than the fact that they created original characters for it. I actually like that the lead of the film is an original character because what that allows you to do is you can create characterizations for the characters from the game without having to put the pressure of the film on their back. You can view the film through the lens of a completely new character, and then you can view the other characters' stories kind of like how you would in a game, right? You're looking at it through the prism of someone new to this world.
That's why Mindo's so good. Because people aren't attached to the character.
Well, no, and a good example for that would be Assassin's Creed. They took they took an exact property, and they took an exact character from the game, and they tried to tell a story around it, and you couldn't. If you had
Assassin's Creed wasn't based on a character from the games.
it was loosely based on the original game. That's the way they. That's the way they put it. Is that it was based on.
They were lying.
No, it wasn't, because I played the original game. Alan Rickon, the character that Jeremy Irons played, is from the game, but pretty much every other character they created was an original character, and the Spanish Inquisition was never something they did in the game. The original character Altair was in the Middle East in a different era. Yeah, that's not based off of a game.
Well, that's the way they put it. We loosely based it on the games, and it's like there was just too much wrong with that for it to work. Nikki is
There's
gonna,
nothing wrong with that film.
yeah. Nikki's gonna make me fucking motion sick if he keeps bouncing the camera around.
Oh, don't worry. I'm making myself more sick than I'm making you. I'm fucking fuming right now.
And I absolutely disagree with this. I actually like the first couple of Resident Evil movies. The first 2 or 3 I actually like. So I love every Resident Evil game. Nikki's gonna get us fucking taken off.
Yeah, we're gonna get deleted off YouTube.
No, I just played it for a second. As long as it's under 15.
We played the Zack Snyder trailer for a second and got kicked off immediately.
Bro,
Well, that had video.
and it got bro.
No, when it's audio, if it's under 15 seconds, it's good.
Bro,
That's not
we
one
played the
person.
Snyder cut, and why we got the video red flagged for? The fucking music. It wasn't
The
the video.
Hallelujah, yeah. No,
It
I
wasn't
mean,
the-
Warner
it
Brothers
wasn't-
even got
Hold
flagged
on,
for that.
hold on. All right. Before we go down a hole, to be fair though, the actual trailer got red flagged for that music. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it literally got taken off.
that
Like,
was a
we're
whole other
watching-
level of legal clearance.
Like Jordan, I hadn't during DC's universe
Fandom.
thing or whatever it is, fandom.
Yeah. fandom.
I missed the Batman trailer, and they played it for me, and we watched it, and then we went back and rewatched the Snyder Cut trailer. And while we're live streaming, there's a video that a post. Our screen goes black for the people watching, and it said like, "Video is not available right now." And as
That
soon
was
as
a fun
Really?
night, though.
and as soon as
While you're
Nikki,
watching.
as Nikki turned it off, it came back up.
I wouldn't trade that.
That's funny.
That was a fun night.
Because like for the channel I used to be a part of, we did a whole DC fandom thing, and I made like some like snippets from pretty much every single trailer there, but I used my own music, and we got flagged, but we just got like a warning. They didn't take it down or do anything. We just got warnings.
Yeah, basically what it was is if you had been monetized, you would have lost the money they would have taken the money.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, we have the amount of videos air time. We just don't have the subs.
Right.
Yeah.
Sergio, man,
Matt's supposed to be buying bots. I mean, Matt, where's our
Yeah.
10,000 bots you were supposed to buy?
They took my money.
I'll do some like just temp emails this week and just sub. I'll tell my subscribers to sub too because I got a bunch in the last like 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So I was gonna say, but before we move on, just because I never actually talked about it, I'm curious about this movie, but if I'm being honest, until I see proof that this can be good, I'm also very scared by it. Video game movies have a bad rap of being bad.
There's been a couple of ones recently.
There's been a couple of good ones recently, but those fall into light-hearted, kid-friendly comedy. Like Pikachu was fine.
I thought Tomb Raider was good.
I wasn't a big fan of Tomb Raider, honestly.
That's all I'm expecting from this. is
I
Tomb
think
Raider.
it's an improvement,
Yeah.
but I didn't think it was great. And honestly, I like when I look into like the people making the film, because that's a lot of what excites me is the credits. The director's it's his directorial debut. He's never worked on anything. And of the 3 writers that we have, one of them, this is his first screenplay. The other, his only 2 big credits are 22 Jump Street and Cloverfield Paradox.
Which I like
and-
22 Jump Street, so
Yeah.
True, but very different film. And then the last writer, his credits include The Expendables, Doom, Zombieland Double Tap, and Wonder Woman 1984. None of those provide any sort of confidence.
Okay, wait a minute. The Expendables is actually, it's on a writing standpoint, is actually a fairly decent written movie.
Sure, but I'm talking about Doom and Wonder Woman, his most recent project.
Doom itself wasn't bad either, in my opinion. Doom wasn't that. It wasn't written wrong. It was just a wrong movie. Wonder Woman 84. That's kind of a hot take right there. It's kind of a hot button.
It's also hard.
Zombieland Double Tap. I actually enjoyed. I liked Zombieland.
No, it's fun, but what I'm getting at is out of the 3 writers we have, the 2 best credits they have among them are 22 Jump Street and Zombieland Double Tap. Is that what we want to be successful for a Mortal Kombat film?
Well, but here's my counter that though would James Wan have put his name on the project if there was a remote chance that it wasn't going to be good?
He put his name on the project before it was made. You never know.
Well, no, he put his name on it after it had been written and it was getting greenlit by the studio.
Yeah.
I don't think James Wan's filmography is perfect. I don't think any. So I'm not going to say yes or no to that. I think he believes in it, but that doesn't mean it'll be good necessarily.
I'm one of these people. I'm going to have faith in it until it tells me otherwise.
That's fair. And also to counter Malcolm, because Malcolm mentioned it, and again, this is all subjective, but the video game curse was broken with Tomb Raider. I didn't think Tomb Raider was all that good to begin with, and since Tomb Raider, we've had Rampage, which was fine. We've had Pikachu, we've had Sonic the Hedgehog, and then we had Monster Hunter, which was fucking abysmal.
I think all it has to be is
Monster
fun.
Hunter yet.
Like that's how I view
I
Mortal
haven't heard
Kombat.
of Monster
I'm
Hunter.
excited for it, but if it's fine, like
Wonder
if
Woman
Mortal
84, Chris,
Kombat ends
Wonder
up
Woman
being
84.
fine, I'll be satisfied as long as it has good martial arts.
Sorry, Nikki was talking. I couldn't hear what you said, Aaron.
No, Chris Diaz asked, was it the first Wonder Woman or the second? Second one.
Second, 1984.
Yeah, 1984. Yes. Yeah. So and look, as I say that as somebody who likes the Mortal Kombat games, I want this to be good, far and away. I just the ones that are coming out legitimately good are not in this genre, so I'm not convinced yet by it.
So if you're gonna benchmark it, like put it up against a movie that's not a video game movie, what is your like highest expectation for this?
What's my? I mean, at this point, I would say if I'm putting it on a scale of 10, I would say a 6 or a 7 out of 10 is a success.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be Oscar winning. I don't need it to be the best thing I've ever seen. But as long as I leave it enjoying it, that's where I'm at, right? I don't need it to be perfect. It's just
I'm looking at Power Rangers as the benchmark.
Yeah,
like the
and I
last
gave
Power
I
Rangers,
gave Power
movie,
Rangers-
if it's like that, I'll love it.
Yeah, and obviously I want it to be better.
Yeah.
But if it isn't and it's just good, then at least we're getting there. It's evolution. It's
long as it's like if they nail the fights, and then the script is so, I think that's a success.
And I think definitely it's going to make some money because I mean people love that Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s. That's like a cult like favorite
classic,
now. Yeah, and like there's some huge fans of the Mortal Kombat video game series. So I think it's definitely going to make money. That's not saying whether it's going to be any good, but I think they're definitely going to make money. I think so.
And talking just as like somebody who's a casual video game player and like an avid movie fan, the sound of Mortal Kombat, like I'm more excited about a Mortal Kombat movie with this cast and these people than I am with and the guy from Power Rangers is in it, so it's a fair comparison. But I'm more excited about this movie than I am about any Mortal Kombat game coming out, just because I've seen what Mortal Kombat can do. Like I think we've seen the pinnacle of Mortal Kombat video games. My favorite Mortal Kombat video game was a bad Mortal Kombat video game, which is Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. I love it just because.
Shocker! Nikki likes something with DC involved.
Yeah. I love DC. I love Marvel. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. I love all of it.
So, I mean, it's definitely one of those you'll have to be kind of curious about. I hope it does good. I actually like one of the guys in it. He was in 47 Ronin and a couple other martial arts style movies. So, no, Yay Fisher.
That wasn't Yay Fisher. That was the Teen Titans.
It was still.
Are you
I'm
talking
okay with
about?
I know you're saying Yay Fisher. That's pretty funny.
Are you talking about? Oh God, I believe I'm gonna try and read his name right.
He's doing his own thing. Like he knows what he's doing.
Tadanobu Asano, the guy who's in the MCU.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
The actor who played Hogan in the MCU is in this movie as well.
Yeah,
From the Thor
Maverick?
films. Hogan? That's the character's name. Hogan.
Oh, Hogan. Okay, yeah. No, Hogan. Yeah.
One of the three.
The Warriors 3, the Asian guy in the Warriors 3. Yeah, the one that actually stands a chance against Hela, and I appreciate that because he was. Which color?
They all had
Blue.
different colors. Okay.
Yeah, the Asian one.
The only Asian one in the three.
Yes, the one that. Did I not just say? God. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, because I'm actually one of those people. I like that actor a lot because he had the most physical prowess of the Warriors 3, other than Lady Sif. I was one of those few people that was okay of how they handled the Warriors 3 in Ragnarok because those were characters that they did not like. Just looking at the movies, they didn't handle those characters well in the first two movies, and just seeing them being treated as they were in those previous two movies, that was satisfying for me. And Hogan was the only one that stood out. So I was glad that he actually got to fight.
And the way that I viewed that scene in that movie is also a bit of retribution, because whatever it was with the second one, whether it was filming conflicts or something, he's written out of a majority of that film.
Yeah. And
so
Zack Snyder. I mean, come on. Wait,
So
not Zack Snyder.
Just
Who am I thinking of? Shazam. Jesus Christ.
Zach Levi.
Zach Levi. Thank
Oh,
you. Yeah,
Zach
Zach
Levi,
Levi Fandral. It's just, hey, you're in our movie. Shazam. You're dead.
Yeah. So to me, that was like a bit of a retribution thing of like, all right, whatever happened, you weren't in our second one. Let's chuck you into the next one a little more than the others. You know, you'll get to fight, the others will get pissed off like wimps.
And I love how Sif is conveniently just not there, so she can be in the next movie.
Yeah, like honestly, that's one of the, yeah, like that, and the other one is like
She didn't want to be killed off.
with Tessa Thompson and Korg not being at the beginning of Infinity War. Like, where the hell did they disappear to for the last 20 minutes?
No, yeah. What were they doing? Like they were leading an exodus. I think it's like, I think that's implied in Endgame. Like, obviously, there's Asgardians there, so it seems like they were leading an exodus of people that were getting off the ship, and then the ones that stayed were the ones that were murdered, because they did have two ships. Like, they had a ship, and then they had a ship that was docked with the bigger ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, if I can hijack for just a second.
Yeah, go ahead. I have to cam off for a few because the kid just had a nightmare and wants dad to lay down next to him, so I have to cam off until he passes back out because it's dark in here.
You're good. So here, I'll go ahead. We did put together a series of videos. We're not going to get to all of them tonight, but we'll go ahead and get to the first. We'll go ahead and get to the first one. There's a good amount of Marvel news that came out. So it's broken up into. I was going to change the.
I haven't heard any of it.
Yeah, right. What news is this?
Yeah, so there's a decent amount, a lot of interviews from WandaVision Press that came out. So, and little tidbits of news have been announced outside of it. So I'll go ahead and play the first video, and we can kind of break through each one a little bit. Here we go. Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe kicked off yesterday with the airing of the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, and all the recent announcements this week, which we will be discussing tonight, have left fans wondering where the boundaries of Phase 4 may lie. Many people thought we got all the news we could on Phase 4 out of Comic-Con 2019. However, D23 that same year and the Disney 2020 Investors Call, or D2020 as I've been calling it, brought out more information on shows and films than we ever could have expected. This week, while doing press for WandaVision, MCU producer Kevin Feige, among many other questions, was asked if he would confirm what the final project in Phase 4 would be, to which he answered no. Feige later elaborated, stating that the phases were never meant to be publicly known commodities used for marketing, but instead are storytelling boundaries for the writing teams. They're used to create some semblance of arcing structure and evolution throughout the MCU. Based on this stance, Feige plans to leave fans in the dark as to how much content will actually compromise Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As of now, Phase 4 will feature 11 films, the same as Phase 3, but with the addition of 10 Disney Plus shows and 2 specialty pieces of content in the animated What If show and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, making it definitively the biggest phase to date. Speaking of those Disney Plus shows, we learned a lot of tiny tidbits of information about them this week. Starting off with WandaVision was officially confirmed to be 9 episodes long, with the lengths of a few other shows having been confirmed as well. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be 6 episodes long, beginning airing on March 19th, 2 weeks after the end of WandaVision, and will run through April 23rd. Loki, Moon Knight, and Secret Invasion are all supposed to be 6 episodes long as well. We also got confirmation this week that Loki is already in talks to begin pre-production on a 2nd season, and that the show's head writer, Michael Waldron, who also wrote Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is in talks to return for the show. Finally, we learned that She-Hulk will be 10 episodes long, making it the longest show in the MCU to date. We also learned that actor Ethan Hawke has officially been cast in the Moon Knight show. He will serve as the show's main antagonist, starring alongside Oscar Isaac, who plays the titular character. However, his actual character and any other information about the show is unknown as of yet.
Nice, Ethan Hawke. I mean, the rest of those are like really tidbits, but that Ethan Hawke news, I mean, that especially against Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight, that just seems like such a flavor that we haven't seen before. The quality of actors in that show, the performances we're going to get from that are going to be amazing. I can't wait, frankly. That's circled on my calendar so far, like the Armor Wars. That was probably Armor Wars, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those ones like were circled as like, those are the ones I'm looking out for. I'm excited about all of them, but those ones. Right. But the Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac and now Ethan Hawke, I've been dying to see Ethan Hawke in my type of movie, and it's just great to see him finally like doing this sort of thing. Moon Knight's a series, correct? Yeah, series.
Yes, it is. Yeah, as long now. One of the things to kind of asterisk with the episode count is they confirmed a lot of other shows episodes counts. Moon Knight was one of them with 6 episodes. At one point, WandaVision was also confirmed at 6 episodes, and at some point between that announcement 2 years ago and this week, they upped it to 9 and produced it. Sub.
It's so like with what you were saying about Mando a few weeks ago. Like they had a series for 10, but they got 8.
They were renewed for 10. They made 8. Exactly. So
they're doing things differently on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and I do like that they're not planning on keeping it consistent. It's what the show wants. WandaVision does 9. Falcon and Winter Soldier will be 6. I like that.
What were you going to say, Jordan? Oh, sorry.
Oh, nothing. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I'm just happy to be here.
Damn it, Jordan, speak up.
Right.
I was going to say, it is broken up over a couple of different videos. Not that I'm enthusiastic to get back to my face, but unless anybody has anything to add about any of the other stuff from here, we can move on as well.
No, let's go.
Oh, whoa. Let's do this. There we go. Whoa. Hi.
Whoa.
What?
What's happening?
We're going to get you out there.
You said you didn't want to see more of my face, so I was trying to switch it to just your face.
But you could have just sent it in the private chat and had somebody else.
No, that's harder for me because I couldn't reach.
I have a question for you guys then about
that was chaos, guys. I'm so sorry. I used my chaos magic on it.
What do you think is going to be the end of Phase 4 then? I kind of think that's probably going to be a Fantastic Four, because that's going to be like the segue to maybe start bringing maybe X-Men too, bringing other properties like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
We're already in the X-Men segue. I think we're getting Magneto right then and there.
I think
you think so. Huh?
I think we won't know what the end of Phase 4 will be.
An Avengers movie?
Marvel
probably an Avengers movie. Yeah, good call.
I had other notes in the read and I cut them out for the sake of time. But one of the things that I originally had in there was Marvel have developed this pattern of doing a palate cleanser film. So Phase 2 actually ends with Ant-Man, just like how Phase 3 actually ends with Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah. So I think there will be some big culmination film.
Yeah.
At this point, we're not looking seemingly at an Avengers film for a while, especially because we've already heard Thor's going to have a lot of crossover with other characters. Doctor Strange seems to be some kind of major event film.
Yeah, I think they're just sitting on it.
I don't think we're going to get an Avengers for another little bit. I think at the end of Phase 4 comes, we'll get some big culmination, and then there will be some sort of palate cleanser that will move it
But
on.
Feige wouldn't mention what that last movie was. And he's not even saying that. And they don't mean chronologically the last movie. They just mean the last unannounced movie. Is the way that I perceived that. Not that the last movie in Phase 4, but
do you think it could be?
So that's why I do think it's Avengers.
I'm thinking it's going to be Avengers. I think it's going to be Secret Invasion. I think that's got to be the last one.
Have any of you? No, that's a TV show.
It's going to be Blade.
They've already confirmed that as a TV show.
That's right.
Blade's going to end it.
What I was saying was that my father earlier this week told me that he heard a rumor that they had signed Downey, or not Downey, Evans to more films. Did you guys hear that one?
Don't get ahead of me, man. Don't get ahead of me.
I'm not trying to get ahead of you. I thought you were
Chris-
done.
Chris
That's
Pratt
the
is
only
already
news I
in-
heard this
I
week.
told you there are multiple
Pratt.
Marvel videos. So for
I didn't know
viewers-
you meant more Marvel. I thought you just meant more
Thank you.
your face.
Chris Pratt
Sorry.
is already
You have
signed
this
on.
new camera.
Okay?
It's distracting.
So then let him play another one.
So are we moving on?
Yeah, go ahead and
Moving
hit
on.
another one.
All right, we'll move on to the next set of Marvel topics. Continuing on with more Disney Plus news, Kevin Feige made comments this week on how the future of the MCU will be affected by Disney Plus. Feige said the idea of doing MCU shows on Disney Plus first was discussed over 3 years ago when Bob Iger initially pitched the streaming service to him. Feige sees the change in pace of storytelling with longer form shows as the perfect way to evolve the MCU, especially after the end of the Infinity Saga. He also used WandaVision as an example of something that he feels could only work in a show scenario, with more time to flesh out the story and the characters. Feige was also asked about Black Panther 2 and the direction the film would be taking in the wake of the passing of star Chadwick Boseman. Feige confirmed that the film will see T'Challa not appear at all, with a CG Chadwick Boseman or a recast being completely off the table for now. Ryan Coogler is apparently hard at work on the script for the moment, with the movie seemingly taking a more ensemble approach with the focus of being Wakanda and the culture of the country itself even more than the first film. This makes sense as seemingly the entirety of the first cast will be returning, with the only names left off the list being Michael B. Jordan and Daniel Kaluuya, and the addition of Tenoch Huerta as an unnamed villain. Black Panther 2 is set to release on July 8th, 2022. And finally, Deadline reported that Chris Evans is apparently in talks to return to the MCU. The trade reported that the talks are centered around a multi-project contract, although they do not know what projects or to what capacity Evans could be back. These reports go against previous public knowledge that Evans had no interest in returning to the MCU after leaving, going as far as to make the contract he signed in order to make Avengers Endgame a one-film contract. So far, Marvel has made no comment, and Evans has publicly denied the claims on.
So I guess
Yeah.
we can all say that that's confirmed that Chris Evans is returning as the Human Torch in Fantastic Four. Everybody,
Yeah.
that's
Setting
got to
up-
be it, right?
It's going to be set up
So-
in WandaVision.
Yeah.
What I was gonna
He
say-
might appear.
As
I was going to say, look, as someone who has literally said tonight on this show that I give no fucks about anything multiverse till they prove me wrong, and I can see.
Oh
it
no, I was
done.
talking Prime Human Torch.
Right. So, but that's what I'm getting at. This Chris Evans news, I read it and I went, what the fuck? And then I read some theories on what people think he could be doing. And I think there are certain things that could work. As much as I don't like it, if the path we're going down is no fucks given, bring everybody in, him being the Human Torch is something I could bear.
I was joking.
No. And that's a room that is actually like whether it's a comment or an internet rumor, like if we're going no fucks given route, that's something I could handle in the same capacity that we're getting other characters from other universes in, right? If it's to bring him back to be the older version of Captain America, I think I could live with that as well. If it's someone even
Captain Hydra.
someone even pitched some kind of a prequel,
Do
like
Captain
a prequel
Hydra.
series.
I love that.
Maybe.
Yeah, World War II. That montage in World War II. That was like over 3 years.
Right. I could live with that. Someone even said, because we
Love it.
already know that What If is going to be more than one season. Someone said maybe they recontracted him to get him to
Probably.
voice for that. I could buy that. If the
What do you think,
reason-
Captain Hydra, though?
I don't know anything about Captain Hydra, so I can't.
Well,
say.
in the comics, it's like this one-off thing where they tease that Captain America was always a Hydra agent. He wasn't.
As a
But
what
I
if
think what they
show-
would do is make it a clone, and then Captain Hydra would be the villain going forward. I would love something like that.
See, and that's what I was going to get at. Any kind of cloning situation or
Dark Science.
them just working a way to bring him back in is something that honestly might make me hop off board with the MCU. I love the MCU. One of my biggest criticisms of it is there's no stakes in any of these films. Because
There are stakes for the villains.
But I'm saying in terms of the hero,
I have stakes in my sink.
there are genuinely no situations you can put
Quicksilver's
any.
back on WandaVision this season.
Right.
Huh?
Vision. Oh wait.
Yeah, Vision. Seriously,
Hold
there
on,
are no
hold on.
stakes. You're absolutely correct.
I mean,
No,
how many
and
times?
that's what I'm saying, right? And
I'm
so,
honest.
hold on, let me finish.
Just let the man speak.
The
Fuck you,
point
Nick.
that
Shut up.
I'm trying to get at is Paul Bettany being on WandaVision, I get, and that actually makes sense to me. As long as it's
He's a robot.
the figment of her mind, and when we go back to the real world, he's no longer there. That's fine.
Really? But he's a
I don't-
robot.
He was killed. That's it. If we live in
His
a
head
universe,
was killed.
where
Take it away.
only
Dead.
side characters we
Yeah.
don't care about, like oh God, what's her name? Rebecca Hall's character in Iron Man 3,
The Korean
or
lady in
Thor's
Age of
mom,
Ultron.
right? Like if we only live if this is a universe where only those characters and villains can die, I don't think I care anymore.
But you're still
Yeah, I was
watching.
gonna say,
But how many
Black
times
Widow.
has Loki fucking died? Let's be
Yeah,
I
honest.
don't
that's
like
what I'm
it.
saying.
I don't
You
like
keep
it.
saying that, but you're still watching.
Heimdall?
Heimdall. Yeah,
That doesn't
Heimdall's
mean
back
that
too.
doesn't mean I like it. Like honestly, I have no interest in Loki. I have no interest in
You have
Loki.
no interest in Loki's DB Cooper, man. Come on, you have no interest in that. I had no interest in
come on.
Loki until that trailer.
I'm sick
until
of
the
like
trailer.
because right, and that's in the trailer, right? And what I mean is, yes, I still watch it because I think they make good content, but things like that make me lose interest in it. I loved in Infinity War when Thanos takes Loki out like that, because for me, that's a beautiful poetic ending for that character. This is
Yeah.
the character that always cheated his way out of death, but he was never noble. In the one moment where he was being noble and doing something good, that's when
He
he met
chose.
his end. It's a
Yeah.
good ending for that character.
Yeah.
And then they use alternate realities to slip out of it and bring him back. They
So-
killed Zoe Saldana's character and
Mhm.
used another
Gamora.
reality to slip
Mhm.
her back. I hate that shit. I fucking hate it. Because
So
it means
I
there's no
agree with you. I hear where you're coming from. Like that's the sort of thing. Like again, I said earlier, Kathleen Kennedy is my mom. That's something that I think the casual fans, a lot of them are like, when they see that, they're like, well, that person's dead. That person's dead. They don't understand that there's the multiverse stuff, that there's people come back to life all the time in comics. Me, I like these characters so much, and I want to see more of these characters. And here's the thing you got to realize from a Marvel, from a Disney standpoint. That's how I knew in Endgame that Spider-Man was going to be back for the third act of the film, like that they would have like a battle, because you're not saying that this is Chris Evans' final movie and never having Captain America and Spider-Man fight side by side. That's how I know that all Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, those three, the three that are like retired, gone, Vision even, they're going to be back for some culmination event, because guess what? You haven't seen those characters with the Fantastic Four yet. You haven't seen those characters with the X-Men.
Then don't
They're
kill
going to do
them.
it. There are no stakes. They've said that in stone.
I watch because I think they make good quality content, but it makes me not care. And this is what I'm saying, right? In terms of direct, like the writing of it, the execution of it, the directorial and acting standpoint, the ending of Infinity War is brilliant. But I sat there in a theater full of people who were in tears, literally in tears, crying, going, "Oh, well, they just took out Black Panther, who made $1
And
billion."
ironically, that's one of my lesser
He's
favorite
coming-
movies.
But
You know they'll
hold
all be
on,
back.
hold on. What I'm getting at is
That night, that reaction.
I sat there in a theater full of people who were invested, and I'm going, "Oh, 2 people in, they took out Black Panther, who made $1 billion." So there's no. And then as soon as I realized, oh, the original 6 Avengers are left, it's like, okay, so the whole next movie is going to be about getting them back, and there will be like, I knew that in the theater because of the way they set it up, and it's like, if that's how they're going to treat killing their characters, it makes me not interested, because anytime you put them in a situation where there should be stakes and you should care about them, you're just going to sit there and go, oh, they'll be fucking back in 3 movies. Who cares?
Right.
The way I think Disney looks at it, and I think it's a fair way to look at it, is that the errands of the world that don't want us to bring Iron Man back, that don't want us to bring Captain America back, that don't want us to bring Black Widow back, don't want us to bring Vision back, they're going to watch the movie anyway. Like, we've already got that. They've already won. That's why in comic books, like, they never kill off like They'll
Honestly,
kill off the Batman,
I
then they'll
think
bring
there-
him back.
I think there is a limit at some point. There is
I think-
the moment
These
that they
characters are
slip,
eternal.
the moment that they slip is the moment where I lose interest.
Like I've already said, I'm not watching certain movies if certain things happen. Like for example, with the Snyder cut. My whole thing on that. We're not going to get into it. But if
We
they-
agreed. We made an agreement.
But Amber Heard stuff came out, and I'm very strict.
We
on
were
it.
gonna do a
Anyway,
Justice League commentary together. Let's do it this week.
Anyway.
That's a route we don't want to go down again.
To me, I don't want to see Chris Evans back.
No,
at
I
all.
don't.
On fire.
His final scene with him getting that dance with Peggy was the perfect way to end that character and send him off. You bring him back, it completely ruins it in a way. It's so great into the movie.
What if it's a different person?
No, I don't care. I don't want Chris
You
Evans.
don't care.
Period.
So
I
you don't want like an evil version of him? You don't want a Skrull?
No, I can understand Human Torch.
But what if it's not him? What if it's a Skrull? And then they kill him, and it's like, oh, that wasn't Cap, that was a Skrull.
You could say anybody's a Skrull that died at one point.
Exactly.
Pointless. And I hate that. It's dumb. It's
No,
stupid.
I'm not saying the Skrull that dies. I'm saying that the one that they bring back is a Skrull.
Yeah, but still, I don't want that.
There's
just like
many
Robert
ways
Downey Jr. His story, Iron Man's story ends perfectly with saving all the world out there by defeating Thanos, snapping and having him disappear. His story ends perfect there.
I feel selfish,
Well,
but I want them back.
I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. I think when
I
they hear his voice in like What If or other things like that,
what if he's a hologram?
No.
Not What If the show. I mean, that kind of
I don't know. I don't want to see Robert Downey Jr. back at all. I think his story is done.
Why not?
I wouldn't mind a flashback occasionally with like Spider-Man or somebody, one of the characters.
That plays into there's been this long-standing rumor that Robert Downey Jr. may be in Black Widow to some capacity. That would make sense to some degree because it is a prequel. It would honestly make more sense that Chris Evans be there because they're the two that interacted with each other.
What about a World War II movie though? Like, would you approve of a World War II movie?
No, okay, time out. No, because he was in the fucking no.
No, World War II. I'm talking about during that montage. Like they have something during that montage. He goes on a mission with the Howling Commandos, and then that's something that plays in to a future storyline with Phase 4, where the Avengers that are left after he's gone have to deal with the consequences of his actions.
No, Captain America's done. Bury it.
He's not.
It's done.
I would be okay with seeing Chris Evans as Captain America in a prequel movie, something like Black Widow or something along those lines. I wouldn't mind that, but I don't want him to be a main character. I don't mind, like if they go to Peggy and Cap, in that timeline, that's fine.
I'm done with prequels. Let's move the story forward. I don't care about Black Widow. If they canceled it, I wouldn't care less.
Does
just don't
anybody
care
know
about it.
exactly when Black Widow takes place? What
it takes place between Civil War and Infinity War.
It's like, well, she's gonna be alive. I already know that's gonna be fine. She's not gonna die. It's
Marvel,
it's like they're fighting on the train. It's like, well, they're gonna be fine.
Marvel has already showed their hand with really the main reason Black Widow got made is to set up Florence Pugh's character for her future in the universe. They've already showed that hand.
I think it's something else too, though. Like I agree with you. I think that's happening. Like that's for sure happening.
Well, she's cast in Hawkeye.
So I understand what you guys want. I know what you want. What do you think will happen? Do you think they're bringing these people back?
Yes.
Maybe Chris Evans. Robert Downey Jr.
Do a little.
He seems like he's fine being done. He's made.
I don't think he is.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
And honestly, if I'm being totally honest, as a person, again, not as a person, I guess, but if Chris Evans does come back, like he signs this big money contract and comes back, if if I'm being totally honest, I lose a little bit of respect for him
Mhm.
because out of everyone who left Marvel, he was the person who said, "Nope, I'm happy to be done. I want to go and do more indie films, more artistic films.
And he's the one that's doing well.
I want to direct again." Like he was the one, and again, like I pointed out
What
in the
if they
video,
offered him the director's chair?
but that could be it. That one I wouldn't hate, but
That'd be fine.
I honestly I might hate it a little bit. I think he needs more practice directing because I've seen
Like
his
one
one
for you,
film.
one for me. type.
I've seen his one film that he directed, and it's fine for a debut, but it's not brilliant.
I'm just imagining Chris Evans directing a Captain America movie that's set in World War II during the war. That's just like this one isolated event. Jordan, you've been quiet. What do you think?
Well, for sure, I don't want to see any prequels. I'm not a fan of prequels at all. But I do think, though, that we're going to have Captain America back. I think we're going to have Iron Man back as those characters, but I don't want them back. But
I hate it.
But Captain America is the heart and soul of the Avengers, and I don't think either one of them are ever going to get their own movies. I think that they're just going to make appearances in other movies. So I'm kind of trying to think where we're going to see him, like which movies we're going to see him back in. So that's kind of something to think about. I don't know, but I think that they're definitely going to be back, and I think that like pretty much every character that's died, that's a main character. I think we'll see Black Widow back. I think we'll see all these characters back. I don't want them, but that ruins all the stakes. And also, I was the one that absolutely hated Infinity War when I first saw it. I absolutely hated that because of the way that they ended it, because it's like, well, there's no stakes now. You know everyone's coming back. You know it. So, I mean, I don't like seeing them back, but I think they will be back.
So here's how I look at it, because I see everything that you're saying, Nikki. I think it's a matter of how do you approach it from a comics fan point of view or from a film point of view. Because from a film standpoint, if any other universe did what they are doing, they wouldn't get away with it. People and I don't think other people are getting away with it. Like let's look at Fast and Furious, right? They're doing the thing with Han. Sure, there are people who supported it, but just as many people call bullshit as supported it.
We'll see how much money that makes. It's about money.
You killed this guy off. I don't think a supporting character in a film ensemble is going to denote how much money it makes. But
No. I'm just saying it's not going to make people go away.
Probably
not. I think
not,
the people on board are on board.
Right, but I still think I still think there's I just think it's creatively bankrupt, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I get that Captain America and Iron Man are two centerfold characters in the comics, and they have been in the film universe now. But if you honestly feel you can't go on without them, don't give them endings. Don't give them endings to rip them out of.
I completely hear what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, but I'm also a very realist, and that's the thing. That's why I wanted to go around the room to see, like, do you think they're going to do it? They're going to do it. I want them to do it in the best way possible. So I want them to be respectful to what you're saying, to what the fans like you are saying, but at the same time, we're going to bring them back because we know that they're a box office draw. So I want them to be respectful to what you're saying, where keep the endings of those characters, those versions of the characters the same. I think there's a little wiggle room for somebody like a Black Widow, just because of like, she didn't really get her funeral send off as she didn't get a proper send off as much as Tony and Cap did, as far as like the end of the movie goes. But I the fact that we're acknowledging that they are going to do it just because it's
and
kind
to be
of
fair,
I want them to do it in the best way possible.
This is still all conjecture. Nothing is confirmed.
But it's probable.
It possibly, but again, that's my point of view as a realist, and we have the same conversation with every rumor. It's a rumor reported by a trade. The trade is reputable. It's not like it's mymomsbasement.com. It's Deadline. You know, I don't think they'd put something out if they didn't believe in it. But again, no one from Marvel's commented on anything. And I think in even more than one tweet, like in response, Chris Evans on Twitter has denied it. That could all be a PR game. We never know. But nothing's official till it's official, in my opinion.
And the way I look at it is this. If they decide to bring Tony back and that, fine. I got the Infinity Saga I can watch. I don't need to see any more MCU. They could have ended it. They could have said Endgame's it, no more Marvel after, and
Yeah.
I'm fine.
That would have been fine.
Yeah, I will not go see another Marvel movie if they bring them back, because at that point it's like, well, why should I care if a character dies and if they're going to be back a few movies later? I mean, that's one that really it
Especially-
takes my interest out. You know, it's
Especially
not like
with a character-
Star Wars where you have
I was
Force
gonna
Ghosts.
say-
That's all
I was gonna say,
different, but-
especially with a character like Tony, where they went so far as to really memorialize him in the following film, to just bring him back from the dead and have him be a part of the universe again. Normally, if they did something like that, that's that's a shot in the back type of thing. I don't like that.
Equate
there's
it
so
to,
many
to
movies.
real life, though. Wouldn't you want to see somebody you love that died again?
But it's not real life; it's
Not a movie.
storytelling.
No,
and
I
think
know
it's
that.
shitty
I know that.
storytelling.
But it's for some people, this is all they have.
Well,
So
you know
it's
what?
like I
feel
just
bad.
think
Like,
I feel
really-
bad for them.
and,
I will give them a
and
hug.
again, I'm not going to discredit, and like I would never discredit anyone's opinion on it, but it's just
Right.
it's just from my point of view,
Yeah.
as someone who up until this point, or from a filmmaking standpoint, as a film lover, has loved everything Marvel's done. I think Kevin Feige has, after years of being in the industry, being in comic films, seeing what works, what didn't, has masterfully built this universe in such a way that it is I mean, movies that people were rebelling against, like Captain
Black
Marvel,
Panther,
still
Iron
cranked
Man.
$1 billion. Like,
Yeah.
that's where we're at now with this franchise. The
Have faith.
only issue I've had with them is there is no stakes. I
No.
liked Endgame because, and I liked Infinity War
Okay.
for this initially, because I liked that they were killing characters in scenarios that really provided stakes. These characters
what if
are
Wanda eats a steak in the next episode? Will you feel better?
no, I
I had to. Yeah, I had to, man. I'm so
but
sorry.
You know what I'm saying though. It's like
No, I do know what you're saying.
as,
It's just
someone who has a
since
passion
they're
for
going to do it, I'm embracing it.
what happened.
Since I know they're probably going to do it, I'm embracing it. Like, I'm embracing the idea before it happens. That way, I'm looking at the glass half full. Like, it's half full, half empty. I love Endgame. Endgame's like my top 2 movies ever.
Like I said, as soon as they officially announced that Chris Evans
Yeah.
will be back as Captain America in, I don't know, let's say some future MCU movie that's not an Avengers movie, I'll say, okay, I'm done.
I
Don't
don't
need to watch
believe
it.
you. I
No,
don't
I'm
believe
done.
you.
I got
don't believe you.
23 movies
Yep.
in Infinity Saga. I can watch those. I can be fine, and I can watch a bunch of things I haven't seen yet. There's so much content out there. I'll just stick with that.
I
You
don't
know,
believe you.
I hold on to my whole thing. I still haven't seen Aquaman for a specific reason.
Oh, real? Well, Aquaman sucks. That's the
Well,
difference.
you know, regardless of the quality,
Yeah,
I still haven't
Watch
seen it.
Black Manta half. Black Manta's good in that movie.
I will not watch the movie. You know,
Yaya
I hold
is
strong.
good.
I will
Why
not
not?
watch.
Can I just ask what your version to it is?
Principle because of who's in it.
I will not say the name because I know YouTube does not like it when you talk about the certain
Understood.
thing.
Okay.
First name starts with an A.
No, you don't have to
oh,
go
yeah.
any further. I understand.
Yeah, so I hold strong to my reasons, and I will hold strong to the whole MCU thing. I'll just stick to the 23.
Do you watch Superman Returns?
Yeah, well, I don't think anything about that actually became official. I don't think in court or, you know, I don't think there has been leaked things saying that actually that happened. You know, so until I hear proof, I still stick with it. But if something actually came out with a leaked audio, whatever,
I
then, yeah,
still watch
I would
Superman
stop watching it.
Just
I would stop watching if something leaked out.
I
like
just
audio or-
separate. I don't let one bad egg ruin. Like I don't let one bad seed like. Ruin
I just
it
don't
for
feel
me.
right about it. But
There's,
anyway,
there's, I hate
All right,
people. Like
that is
Anyway,
a, that's a
yeah,
deeper
I will not.
conversation.
Point being, I will not watch any future MCU movies.
well,
if
now I
that-
believe you, and I'm sad for you.
And
I feel bad.
no, I honestly could care less. I honestly could care less. But if Spider-Man, you know, left the MCU, was just with Sony, that's completely different. Which I think that's probably going to happen. unless Disney buys Sony. I think that's going to happen, or they buy the rights to Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man will be a Sony thing. I will watch that. I will watch.
I hope you change your mind.
Okay, I won't.
But
I won't.
I just want you to enjoy something. Like, I want you to be open-minded because I think you might enjoy it.
I'll be fine. There are millions and millions of different movies I can watch. I can watch
But what
things from the
about the potential for
1930s.
good?
I don't care. I can watch anything as long as I
feel
hold my
bad.
ground.
Like, there are things that I don't like, but I still try to like consume them. Like
There's-
anime, I really don't like anime, and I don't want to watch it. But
There's
I'll
over-
try to like just be open-minded.
Netflix has a movie coming out every single week from now on.
Yeah, but
That's
none
what
of them
they're
have
saying.
Captain America in them.
I don't. Look, I'm fine. Captain America's story ended. To
I
me.
love Captain America though. Like, I would love a war. I'm just thinking of a movie that takes place in World War II that is directed by
I'll watch
Chris
Hacksaw
Evans.
Ridge.
That I don't
I'll
really
watch
care about that.
I'll watch Saving Private
You want Mel
Ryan.
Gibson in a Marvel movie?
I
no.
What about Mel
sorry,
Gibson? Come on. I mean, that was pretty
I
much proven.
can watch this on repeat. 4K.
But that's on audio.
I know.
Like what I'm saying is the Mel stuff. Like, he was arrested, and that was proven.
Well, you know what?
I'm just saying you can
That's fine.
separate the art from the from like the rest of it.
Mel
That's
was
just
drunk.
how I feel. At least.
Mel was
I-
drunk. It's not like
I try to
Shia
consume
LaBeouf.
it.
He was drunk.
Absolute cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
And he was.
There were two of them in the movie.
Him and the
Eagle Eye,
cop are
remember?
best friends now. Mel and the
too
cop
many.
are really good friends. That he yelled sugar tits or whatever too.
What?
Wait,
Yeah,
what-
no. That's what your mom always says, was that they were friends.
Yeah, they're friends.
Like that Mel Gibson and that
Yeah,
cop are friends.
they became
I
friends.
have heard that. Yeah.
And then the audio thing with the whole family thing, that wasn't great. But I mean,
Alright.
I've heard worse with families. Anyway, I hold
Maddie,
strong.
were you
to
still
my
there?
things. No, he left.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
say,
I thought he was gonna say goodbye on air, but
Yeah,
I
I
remember.
think-
yeah, that
No.
Maddie had to jump off all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But all right, so
We're at 2 hours.
I was gonna say, yeah, I wanted to get one or two more of these in briefly just before we wrap up. We can steer away from the Marvel news. I won't play the video, but the third piece of the Marvel news had to do with Deadpool news. That confirmed rated R, and apparently in some capacity will be related to the MCU. And the other piece in that video with that Morbius has changed its release date from March 19th to October 8th. I don't know if anyone's shocked by that one. But
It's too bad. I was looking forward to it this year, but now that it's pushed, I'm just like, whatever. We'll get it when we get it.
yeah, well, it's still this year. It's October 8th, 2021.
No, I meant, I thought we were still in 2020. It's the same year. Like, time is a construct.
Right.
It's an illusion.
But yeah, so if anybody else wants to throw in on the Marvel news quickly, personally, I don't hold a complete candle to this one just because I want to see what they mean by in the MCU. I don't think they're just going to take Deadpool mid-franchise and plop him in the MCU. I think it's a bit. I think there's something to do with this in terms of a joke within the film.
It's going to be part of the time travel thing he was doing, I think. Like, he's just going to pop out of the time travel thing, and it's going to be that Deadpool was responsible for creating the MCU.
Again, I think WandaVision and Doctor Strange plays a factor into it. I think most of the characters that appear, let's say, in Doctor Strange, and I'm not saying they're going to be in it for long, but like in Doctor Strange or with the Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3, I think, and assuming Charlie Cox actually is in the movie as Matt Murdock, which, I mean, I kind of believe it. Not as Daredevil, but Matt Murdock, it kind of makes sense. But I do think once these characters come back, I think Deadpool, because he's, very, he breaks, he does fourth wall stuff. I think he's going to stick around. I think that's how they'll do it, where instead he's going to find some way where he just happens to stay in when everybody's being put back. That if that's what they're talking about in the MCU, that's how I think he is in the MCU mid-franchise. That's what I think, assuming that he actually means in the MCU.
Yeah. So unless anyone else wanted to add on to that briefly, Jordan, anything?
Oh, I was gonna say I just want to see a Deadpool just like team up with like anyone from the MCU. I mean, Me personally, it'd probably be Spider-Man. That's what I'd like to see him team up with, or even just like finally get the Wolverine team up, even if it's not Hugh Jackman, just to see that. But I mean, I definitely want to see that, because I think that Deadpool is the one character that most easily could pop in and out of like really any movie. So I mean, I'd like to see it, but I mean, I think that the R rating was pretty much inevitable, even though it's Disney. I mean, you can't really do Deadpool in that way without it being R. So yeah.
All right. So I was gonna say we'll put one more on here. We'll switch gears completely. And since we get Netflix was referenced, let's talk about Netflix. Earlier this week, Netflix released a major promotional piece marketing a large majority of the films they have coming in 2021. The studio teased everything they have coming up in the next 3 months, as well as teases for most of the major releases set to come out throughout the year. Some possible highlights to both fans and myself include The Kissing Booth 3 and To All the Boys, Always and Forever. While these films may not appeal to most of the people here, they are conclusions to two of the biggest viewed trilogies on Netflix at the moment. The Woman in the Window, the Joe Wright thriller that was previously set for release in theaters last summer. Army of the Dead, the Zack Snyder zombie heist flick starring an ensemble led by Dave Bautista. Malcolm and Marie, the black and white drama starring John David Washington and Zendaya. Red Notice, the action comedy led by Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. And Don't Look Up, the political satire film directed by Adam McKay with an ensemble led by Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio. All of the mentioned films and many more will release on Netflix in 2021. On top of this announcement, Netflix also announced that they had signed a 4-film production deal with Kevin Hart and his production company, Heartbeat Productions. The film very closely mirrors previous deal Netflix has made with other filmmakers and their companies, like Adam Sandler with Happy Madison Productions and Spike Lee in 40 Acres and a Mule. Hart expressed excitement through Twitter at the opportunity when it was announced. Kevin Hart's next project, a film called Fatherhood, directed by Paul Weitz, is set to release on April 16, 2021. Apparently there was an issue this week with the videos cutting just like 2 seconds early. But either way, yeah, so Netflix put out a promo video earlier this week that teased as many films as you possibly could in a 3-minute period. I put up some of the highlights there, and I saw Matt's reaction to the first one. I figured that would get somebody.
Kissing Booth 3.
Of those movies.
Excited for that.
No,
I'm
You
still,
can't argue with Netflix views. You can't argue with them.
I'm still on the fence about him. Wait, I'm still. Well, my problem. I'm not. Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I just feel like the culture that we live in, as far as like canceled culture goes, and the whole Oscar thing. And this isn't even a Kevin Hart thing. More of like an Ellen thing. Like he did that whole thing on Ellen. I remember, and it's just like the country has forgiven Kevin Hart because Ellen told us it's true. So I just think it's funny, like how Hollywood works is that some people get to say whatever they want, and then other people say things and they're blacklisted. But Kevin Hart, I'm one of those people. I'm not a huge fan of his movies. I really like him in Hobbs and Shaw. We were talking last night that they could do a complete spin-off of Hobbs and Shaw that's just called Fast and Furious Presents The Air Marshal. And it's just Kevin Hart being an air marshal. You could like throw Ryan Reynolds into it. But I'm one of those people that like thinking of that last night, like it was just a thought that we were talking about. I would love to see him do and Fast and Furious Presents The Air Marshal. So when he's doing action comedy, I actually like him. When he's doing straight up comedy, I'm indifferent.
So first off,
do we want to talk about the Kevin Hart thing first, or?
Yeah, and I sense that Nikki really got into it, and I kind of wanted to talk about it anyway. First off, it doesn't matter who the comedian is. I will always support them when it comes to their jokes when people are criticizing them, unless they're blatantly being racist or sexist.
That didn't sound like a joke,
terrible. But if they're joking, like if it's not meant
Yeah,
in a
no,
hateful
I
way,
agree with you. It just
And-
didn't
and-
seem like he was joking. It seemed
so-
like he was being serious.
Okay, so we're talking about the tweet where it was like
that
He's
is
Yeah.
ashamed if his son was gay.
right.
But, yeah.
That as somebody who has seen, I believe, all of Kevin Hart's stand-up specials, that tweet line for line is pulled from a joke from one of his stand-up specials.
And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I don't think Kevin Hart is homophobic, and I
Oh.
don't think and that was a long time ago, right?
Right, and that's
Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
thing that
I don't want to. I don't
Well,
want
I
to
don't
go
like
too.
it when people criticize people after the fact either. I just wanted to.
Yeah,
bring
I don't-
it up
I don't
because
wanna get
I
too
always
deep
thought that
into
whole
it.
thing was funny.
I also had a Ray Fisher bit, but because we went so long on the other stuff, I'm avoiding
Yeah.
it at this point because I don't want to get into it this late.
Right.
But we could talk about that next week if that's something you guys want to keep.
I shouldn't
but,
have brought it up.
Very good.
Huh? No. But so the sorry, Matt, continue. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Kevin Hart, any comedian in general, if you make a joke, you as long as it's like in stand up or whatever, or if you are clearly joking and you're not, like I said, being hateful in any way, shape, or form, regardless if it offends anybody or not, I'm gonna support you as far as you being allowed to joke around.
Yeah, and I feel like
I-
people are
yeah.
allowed to have their opinions too.
Yeah,
I just
like,
thought it was interesting the way certain things happen.
And to anybody that's purposely looking up tweets from 2005,
Yeah.
to use to attack an actor or any celebrity in
A
general,
lot of that's being the good guy.
like, can we please stop? I guarantee
Yeah.
if somebody
Do it live.
dug into your history, they could pull up something and attack you on it. Okay, we 2005, early 2000s, late 2000s, like even 5 years ago, was completely different as far as
I
what.
regret bringing it up.
No, you're good.
It's a totally different time. Yeah.
Completely different. If they're joking, I don't care. They could joke about that right now. I don't care. I will
Here's
support.
what I was gonna say, just to move on from it. This is the end all be all. Since the tweets are public and you can find them, look at this is where the difference lies. Look at what Kevin Hart and James Gunn tweeted jokingly, and then
James
look at
Gunn thing. Yeah.
what was the guy's name from Flash? Hartley something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hartley Rathaway.
I forget the guy's name. Whatever the actor
Hartley
who's on the
Sawyer.
Flash.
Hartley
The
Sawyer, I
actor
think.
Hartley Sawyer, the actor who's on the Flash.
Hartley Rathaway,
Look
the
at those tweets that got him in trouble.
Right.
That's something that's worth getting in trouble.
That's
over.
even that's a whole nother thing. And I like that
Okay.
you brought up to James Gunn because I like James Gunn too. Like I don't think that I just thought it was interesting. Like, it's the
Right.
same thing that I look at with the David Ortiz situation. Like I brought that up a few weeks ago. David Ortiz was on that steroid list, yet David Ortiz has got off scot-free. So it's just one of those things that I think is interesting. I think that people need, and the point that I was trying to make was that
Mhm.
don't, and I was saying this to you before, Matt,
Mhm.
try to separate the artist from the work and don't make first glance judgments. Because I don't think that Kevin Hart's a homophobe. I don't think Kevin Hart is a bad person. I just think that whole entire situation was funny. How
Mhm.
at first everybody was like, "Oh, Kevin Hart bad, Oscars off." When it was all said and done,
Mhm.
it almost seemed like a publicity stunt that came
Right.
from within.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, there's a difference between joking and actually doing something that's bad. That's why I won't watch Just League. And anyway, with that being said about the Kevin Hart thing, regardless if I support what his jokes are or not, I don't think he's funny.
No,
Mhm.
I don't.
I
either.
don't. I don't. I mean, I know there's people that like his humor, and that's cool. You can like whatever. I don't think he's funny at all.
I think he's annoying.
The only movie that I liked that he was a major role in, because I know he was like in 40-Year-Old Virgin, not really a big
Hobbs and
role.
Shaw.
That was a great scene. He was
Yeah.
was the one with Bryan Cranston that he did 2 or 3 years ago, like
Oh,
upside
Yeah,
down,
and that was more of a
down,
dramatic.
whatever.
No,
Yeah.
Upside. Yeah.
I thought dramatically, he did a really good job.
Comedic characters are always better in dramas.
I wish he would go to something like that rather than just doing like the stupid night school, type of comedies where it's like it's not. I mean, okay, you have your audience, cool. it's just I don't care, and it's going to
And
eventually burn out.
actually, it is funny that you mentioned that because I referenced it at the end. His next film, the Paul Weitz film Fatherhood, is actually a straight up drama that he is
Okay,
leading.
sure. I'll watch that. I will absolutely watch that, and I'm sure it's going to be good, and I'm sure he'll be good in it. But as far as comedies, if this deal is all dramas, I'm all for it. I doubt it will be. I guarantee kind of like it'll be like Adam Sandler, where it's going to be comedies. And odds are they're not going to be good enough to make theaters anyway. They're going to be like those.
Most comedies.
There are good comedies. Good stuff.
I said this a few times. Hobbs and Shaw. I watched that last night. I know, good for me. But that was the funniest movie I had seen in years, because I think movies that are funny are at their funniest when their primary goal isn't to be funny, when they're just funny naturally. Because the banter that all those characters in that movie has, they're just having like. The conversations are real. Like it feels real. It's like when I hear your squeaky voice, it feels like I'm dragging my balls against glass, and it hurts.
Right.
And then like Jason rebels back. It's like, but when I hear your voice, it burns. It really burns.
No, it was his face.
Yeah, it was his face. His face
Dwayne
makes
Johnson's
his
face.
eyes burn. Like somebody vomited. It burns.
I mean, I wasn't a fan of Hobbs and Shaw, but then again, I'm not really a fan of the more recent Fast and Furious.
When I see comedies, I don't like them.
Right, but Central Intelligence, I'll say that I did
forgot
like
about
Central Intelligence. That was good.
I don't have a bad thing to say about that movie.
And then
I
Jumanji
think-
was good
Shot
too.
and Lynn.
I think
Right?
him and The Rock work very well together.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence that between the two of you, the 4 comedies you've mentioned for the most part
Had
that
The
you
Rock
think
in
he's
it.
good in have The Rock in them.
Right.
Jumanji.
I'm somebody who I do like Kevin Hart. I think he's funny. I like his stand-up. I think as a stand-up comedian, I do find him funny. I can get why people would be annoyed by him because of the way he delivers it, that very hyped up kind of at times like that kind of thing that he brings to it. I think it depends on the joke. I think he can deliver some jokes very well. But sorry, I'm so confused.
I want to see him
I
play like somebody that's just on Xanax and just like chill, man. Yeah, man. Like that doesn't have the excitement at all.
His films are like most comedies. His films are very varied in terms of their quality and how good they are. I also don't think he works as much at times as an on-screen like a actor trying to deliver a comedy. Like I said, I think his forte is much more stand-up. That being said, I mean, good for him, hopefully these will turn out better than like Adam Sandler. Like Adam Sandler's Netflix deal is basically just to keep his schlock out of theaters at this point. It's not anything else.
Feels like there's vomit in my eyes and it burns.
Yeah, like it's basically just kept Happy Madison out of theaters for the last few years, and that's perfectly fine. Keep them to Netflix. They don't need to be in theaters.
That's a public service.
But I like Kevin Hart more than Adam Sandler in the lot. Like I think consistency wise, he's
But
a little
Uncut
better.
Gems, like the stuff that did get to theaters with Sandler, it's like that it's such like a shit filter. Like it filters the shit out. Because like that if it's on Netflix, it's gonna be shit. But you know that if it goes to theaters, like something like Uncut Gems, it's like, okay, even if I'm not really loving this movie, this is a interesting performance.
That also wasn't his movie. He didn't make it.
Kevin Garnett's movie.
So that was he didn't make that. So that
and
that's
I've talked about the cinematic universe that I want to see that's just based off of quotes that Kevin Garnett said after basketball games. I think that A24 should really get on that. The Anything's Possible series. What did that
shit for sure. Kevin Garnett is my favorite athlete of all time. So I would support that.
Yeah,
I got shoes with his face on them.
I actually like it because I like this deal simply because and one of the things again we got talking about other stuff earlier, so some of the topics I pulled didn't get brought up. In one of them, basically it was referencing some more stuff with HBO Max, but part of it was M. Night Shyamalan, while doing press for something, made a comment about it, and his comment leaned more towards like he sides with the filmmakers in the current standoff that's happening of you've messed with our films that we agreed would go to theaters, and he sides with them on that. But he also commented in that same thing of there's also a world where good quality streaming content and good quality theatrical content can exist. There's no need to try and cannibalize one to help the other, right? And I think Netflix making deals like this is only good because it does give them a chance of bringing better content to their service. Because, like for example, this fatherhood film that's coming out, if it's good and if it is a drama, its main production company is Heartbeat Productions. So that's also something that he is not just cast in, he is behind and working on and wants to do. He's got another film. It's a action comedy. This one's also going to go to theaters, but it's a action comedy directed by the guy who directed The Hitman's Bodyguard and co-starring him and Woody Harrelson. That's something that I think could work with Kevin Hart. You know, I think I could see that working in that context, right? Where Harrison will probably be the Sam Jackson type of character and he'll be playing a more Ryan Reynolds type. And so with that said, I think deals like this are good because it brings good content to these services, right? Like obviously I use Sandler because he's the biggest one, but Spike Lee and his production deal with his company 40 Acres and a Mule, right? His two films that have gone to Netflix, one was 2019, a film he produced, and it was directed by a film student that he actually taught film class to, and the student pitched him this concept, and Lee loved it so much he backed him the whole way to get it made and used his deal to get it distributed through Netflix. If anyone here who's watching or here hasn't seen it, it's called See You Yesterday. It is very much, you can tell it's like small-time filmmaking, small-time budget, but I think it's a great film, and it's specifically about culture issues in America. I think it does handle it very well, but it's also a sci-fi time travel movie. And so for what it does, I think it's interesting that Lee put his weight behind it and put it on Netflix. And then obviously, I think The Five Bloods is the best film of the year. So Netflix is using these deals to get good films on their platforms too. And so I think this is a very interesting thing. It's just a matter of what are we going to see.
Right.
I want to see more KG. KG was good in that movie.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad.
He was fine for a non-actor.
He was interesting.
He was playing himself.
Yeah, that's okay. He's KG. If you're KG, would you be anybody else? Come on.
No,
I don't know. I know his name, so that means he must be a great basketball player. But
great basketball.
Yeah, see, for me, I think that this Netflix news, like I'm happy about it, and I'm also kind of sad about it because I feel like almost none of these movies are going to go to theaters. They're all
they will be on
Netflix. Yeah, so it's just like we're never going to see them in theaters. Movies like Red Notice, or you got the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. So I was going to say, sorry, not to cut you off. You can start us off, but let's get into it to kind of close out the show. This big promo comes out marketing all these new films coming to their service. What were some of the ones that looked most interesting? And sorry, Jordan, go ahead and finish your point.
Well, yeah. So those two are a couple of them, and like I'm just sad we're not going to be able to see them in theaters, but I'm also happy that like Netflix is a thing and we get movies like that literally every single week. There's a new movie on Netflix, so I mean, I'm definitely excited about that. So it's like a love-hate kind of thing. So I mean, I'm always in support of the movie theaters because where I live in Washington, all the movie theaters are closed still, so I don't have any access to.
DC or West Coast?
Yeah. West Coast, yep.
Nice.
So, but I'm not too far from the Idaho border. If I drive about an hour east, I can see movies over there. But yeah. So I mean, I'll probably watch most of them, even the bad ones, just because I mean, when I'm home and I have nothing to do and I run out of stuff to watch, I probably will end up watching most of them. So
I have a confession. I don't watch much on Netflix besides Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like I watched Deep Space Nine, and that's about it.
How do you have Oh, probably a VPN. Okay.
No, Netflix. I'm in America.
They have Star Trek on Netflix?
Yeah, they have Deep Space Nine, Next Generation. They don't have Discovery, Picard, or Lower Decks.
Well, I know that. Yeah.
They have the old series. They have like the Burnham era, and they have original series. They used to have animated series on there, but it's not there anymore. So I think it's like a deal thing. Because the thing with those shows is they were already in like televised syndication. So there's an app called Pluto. Pluto's a pretty good app. It's like commercial TV. Like it's simulated cable. Like it's simulated rerun TV. And like they have Star Trek Next Generation for free on there. So if you want to watch, guys, it's free.
So what I'm getting is you don't care about any of these films.
I really don't. I wish I did, but Netflix is the one the one service that doesn't have anything anymore that I gravitate towards. Like I like the Marvel shows. I like Lost in Space, but that's like one season every 3 years or so. There's not much on there for me. Like that's Netflix original.
I mean, I'll
The
probably
stuff that I have watched, I haven't liked.
Right.
Like
Right,
Umbrella
so then-
Academy, I didn't like that. I didn't like the Holmes sister movie. Witcher, I was indifferent on. There's just a lot that I don't care about. Stranger Things. I just don't care about what Netflix is doing for some reason.
You didn't watch The Irishman, the 3-hour-long Martin Scorsese epic?
I didn't care.
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and
Yeah, and the de-aging, it's
it was lovely.
none of those people are really Irish.
You don't know.
I mean, I'm an Irishman.
You never know.
I think I do know.
It's not like being
They
black.
probably have a little Irish in them.
You never.
All right.
It's not like being
Matt.
black, where it's a clear indication.
Perfect.
But no.
Any films
Red
interest
Notice,
you?
I mean, I'll check Red Notice out, and I'll check most of them out unless I hear they're terrible. Not gonna
I
watch
need
Kissing Booth 3, but if you guys really want to review, I'm sure my sister will sit down and talk
No,
about it.
that's okay.
Same with To the Boys I Loved.
Actually, you know what? I'll be completely fair. As
Am I one of those boys?
as somebody who, thanks to my age and shitty friends, has actually seen both of those series thus far, those Kissing Booth movies are just fucking horrendous. Like, there's no excuse for those existing.
I watched
But
David Boreanaz for Bones?
to all the boys I've loved before, the second one's not very good, but honestly, the first movie's pretty solid for like a high school rom-com. That's
I
not
don't like any of those.
that's not John Hughes-ish, because a lot of the problem with a lot of rom-coms is they try and emulate John Hughes. This is very
hate
modern
John Hughes.
feeling. It's not John Hughesy, but it is a solid rom-com. I actually don't think it's all that bad. Somebody kick Nikki out
He
because
makes
he
Yeah,
it
didn't
boring.
like
but he didn't like John Hughes.
He makes boring movies.
Ooh.
There it goes again. Anything? So, is there anything else in particular on that list?
The
I like
Don't
John
Look Up,
Watts sometimes.
Yeah, don't look.
that's one I'm definitely interested in. That
And
seems
that's
like
an incredible ensemble.
oh yeah, that seems like it's gonna be their Oscar contender. Kind of like what The Irishman and Marriage Story was in 2019.
I really want to watch A Night in Miami.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
I
gonna
saw
watch
that
that.
trailer, and then after I heard it was Rashida, not
Yeah,
Rashida
Regina
Jones.
King.
Regina King.
Regina King, thank you. Why did I think Rashida Jones?
I don't know.
It's the R. I heard the R and I'm like Rashida Jones, TV actor. No, Regina King. It was one of those things. Like earlier this week, I was watching a Schmodown, and one of like the questions was like, "Was that Regina King?" And then the next one mentioned Daddy Daycare, and I was like, "I think Regina King was the wife in Daddy Daycare." And then I looked it up. She was totally was the wife in Daddy Daycare.
It's funny.
But I love Regina King. She's done so many roles over the years, and just she has such a way about her. Like the way that she tries to influence the industry. Like she sees how there's a differential between like the white directors and the black directors in Hollywood. So what did she do? She creates her own production studio where black directors have a chance to shine, including herself.
True.
And that movie looks incredible.
Right. And
I mean, just the concept of it. Mike Tyson, Sam Cooke.
Jim Brown and
Come on, Malcolm
Did you say
X.
Mike Tyson?
That
Hold on.
sounds
Did you say Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I don't think Mike Tyson.
Not Tyson.
Muhammad
Was it
Ali.
Foreman? Muhammad Ali. I'm sorry, not
yeah,
Mike Tyson.
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad
I'm
Ali.
so sorry. I get my boxers confused.
Right. Say I'm looking
George
at these-
Foreman.
I'm-
They're all boxers.
right.
All right.
And
Yeah,
And I'm looking at some of
Malcolm
these-
X, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, and
Somebody's gonna deep fake it with Mike Tyson. George Foreman made a bunch of grills, but before that, he named all of his sons after himself. And
And his
before
daughter.
that, he was a boxer.
Right. And I'm looking at a lot of the movies that were, shown in the
Announced.
whole
Sorry.
thing and whatnot for Netflix. The other ones I almost forgot about that. Malcolm and Marie, that was one of the first movies shot during COVID.
Yeah.
With Zendaya and
John David Washington.
yeah. So that's what I'm
directed
interested.
by Sam Levinson, creator of Euphoria.
Yep, which is a pretty.
I've heard
good
of
movie.
Euphoria.
It's a good
That
show.
has Eric Dane on that, right?
I think I
Eric
don't
Dane from
know.
Grey's Anatomy.
Right. Yes, he is in it.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
I just saw a trailer for that. I'm like, hey, it's McSteamy.
His first scene is pretty interesting. And
I
one
heard it
you
was
wouldn't
gross.
expect him to do. Oh, it's weird. It's
Does he like
definitely-
bang Zendaya or something?
No, not Zendaya.
No?
It's Hunter, whatever her name is. She's I can't remember Jules in the show. Anyway, but yeah, it's a good show. I recommend watching it. But Malcolm Marie, because I do like Zendaya. I think Zendaya is a really talented actress, and since we're getting movies, as far as the deadline for what can qualify for the Oscars, pushed to March. That comes out.
Yeah, end of February, is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a cop out.
But so that's getting in. Well, I mean, they had to do what they had to do.
No, I'm just saying with the digital releases, I understand the digital releases,
Right.
but pushing it to March, that's just like we don't really
Well,
feel like
to be
we have enough.
fair-
Yet, so we
And this is being in theaters too.
To be
Malcolm
fair,
Marie's in theaters.
I think the only reason they did that is because for pretty much the months of March and April,
Yeah.
any releases were shut down because studios were still figuring out how to handle it. It wasn't really until May that the digital format started taking place.
when you put it that way.
But
So, and also, I believe the way the rule stands is films have a choice whether to submit
Yeah.
for 2020 or 2021.
That's what I would say. Yeah, just put them on the next year. Just put
Yeah,
them
so
on the
they don't-
2020.
So they don't have to submit for 2020, but if they release in that first 2 months, they have the option to.
It's like a rookie season. Like when
Right.
Jacoby Ellsbury was called up by the Red Sox in 07 and he played like a lot of games and he was one of their star
Right.
players, but it technically didn't count as his rookie season.
right. And I think
But he won a taco for all of America.
right. But I think Malcolm Marie is going to be for this year's Oscars. But a few more real quick. Army of the Dead. I'm curious. Not a big zombie guy, but I
But you're a
did
big
like Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake. So I am curious about it. I like some of the guys that are casted in this.
Also, I'm really curious to see. This movie did something technology wise that I'm very curious to see. Again, without diving down a well of talking about controversies, but Chris D'Elia was originally part of the film's cast.
Yes.
Things happened. Snyder chose to remove Chris D'Elia from the film. He then chose to recast Chris D'Elia with another comedian, but a female comedian, Tig Notaro.
Yes.
And because the film,
She's on Star Trek Discovery. I love her.
because the film was
I
already
love
finished, because the film was already finished filming or almost finished filming, they filmed Tig Notaro separately. And then for the scenes that they still had to film, used a body double and are basically planning to CG Tig Notaro in over either Chris D'Elia or the body double, depending on the
She's the
scene.
chief engineer of the USS Discovery.
Yep.
Which is so interesting. I'm
so good.
very
She
curious to see how
shows
that
up
comes.
sometimes, and then other times she's just gone.
Right. But real quick too, like the other ones that I haven't really seen that I kind of forgot. Bruised, which is the Halle Berry directed boxing movie that she's also in. That's one I think that's submitted for this year's Oscars. Concrete Cowboy has the I believe he's in Stranger Things. The younger black kid that's in there, and has Idris Elba is in it too.
Idris,
The
evolution of man.
I'm trying to see real quick.
Yes, Idris Elba, Caleb McLaughlin, Jarrell Jerome from Moonlight is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Moonlight.
So I'm very curious about seeing that.
Sorry, I got really excited about Tig.
Oh no, you're good. But as far as, and I know there's more on there. As far as just names, I'm noticing those are the ones I'm good.
List of names in this. For me, before we wrap up the show, I would say I'm interested in Woman in the Window. That was a thriller. That was a thriller. I didn't know that got sold to Netflix. So when I saw that show up, I was like, "Is this the same movie?" I looked it up and I was like, "Oh, I guess it got," because I saw that movie, that trailer get played for ages when it was like possibly hanging around being released. Like they just kind of kept playing the trailer.
Yeah.
So that one has me interested, especially because pretty much all of Joe Wright's films have been good. So I'm very curious to see how that turns out. I'm trying to think of some of the others. Like, honestly, you hit most of them. I think honestly, most of the big ones to be excited for. Red Notice. I think Army of the Dead could be very interesting.
Escape from Spiderhead it's the Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, yep.
And Miles Teller, I think, is in it too.
Really?
I think so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know much about it. They showed a tiny little piece of it in that promo, but that's another one.
Escape from Spiderhead. In the near future, 2 prisoners take part in a new drug test in order to shorten their prison sentences. Stars Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller, and Journey Smollett.
I don't think. Journey Smollett. Okay, yeah, Black Canary. Yeah.
The other one they won't cast.
It's being directed by Joseph Kaczynski, who directed Tron Legacy and the upcoming Top Gun sequel. I forget what it's called. And it's written by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick of Zombieland and Deadpool. That's actually really interesting. Okay.
I forget what I was gonna say. It's like
I know they have Pieces of a Woman on there right now too, which I haven't seen yet. I'm gonna watch that either before I go to bed or tomorrow. But that's another one.
Nice.
Yeah. No, Chris, we're not going to talk about anything else. Where we got held up on some of the other topics, but there was a lot of interesting conversation tonight. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'll go around the horn. Jordan, thank you again for joining us. We'd love to have you back in the future at some point, and we hope you'll check us out when free, even if you're not available, man. Where can people find you?
Okay. You can find me over on my main YouTube channel. It's called Movie Hero, hence the name. But we have about 3 or 4 different shows. We just wrapped up one actually right before I jumped onto this one it's called Tier Ranker Fight, and basically we just pick a topic every week. We go through a tier ranker chart, and we just rank it. So we did the best board games to ruin a friendship over is what we did. So that was a lot of fun. And then also you can just find me over on Facebook. I run a Facebook channel or Facebook group called Showdown Friends and Family. So we got some cool stuff going on there. We're doing a little tournament to determine the favorite stand-up comedian from the Showdown community. So we got daily polls going on over there. So you can find me over there too.
Absolutely. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me still sad about my teams either just being knocked out of the playoffs or completely sucking. But besides that, you can find me on here. I am on this show. We do Inside the Horseshoe, assuming my internet holds up. We were going to do one yesterday, but my internet decided let's not work. So we didn't, I didn't have that fixed until about 8-9 o'clock, and at that point I had to get ready for work, so couldn't do it. But we'll be back next week talking about the conference championship games, previewing that. And you can find me on my personal channel, Matt Beer, which will be changed soon, different name, where I just put random things on there.
Rex and Andor, right? At Rex and Andor.
The hashtag. It's the hashtag. It will only be used on Twitter and on shows that I'm on because it's a movement. It's
I
a
apologize.
movement. You're good.
apologize.
You're good. It's a movement.
I
And now
want to see Rex move.
Yes, he needs to be in Andor. Check out Rex and Around if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Check that out. It's a Star Wars podcast.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I love it.
Check out Rex and Around. It's on YouTube. It's a podcast. It's all about Star Wars. So if you like
Is
Star
it
Wars,
you?
check it out. No, I'm not on there.
Oh.
But the host of it is trying to get into Andor. Hence Rex and Arandor.
He's not. Oh, it's not that Rex.
No, it's a different.
I thought you were talking about
Michael.
Captain Rex.
He
No.
does do cosplays as Captain Rex. That's how he
Does he have
got
a helmet?
big. Yeah, he makes his own
Oh,
stuff.
nice. I wanna like have like helmet talk with him.
Yeah, hey,
Like
he's on
get
Twitter.
me on his show. I want to be on all your shows. I want to be everywhere at once.
So, yeah, that's why he calls it right now. But
Nikki and Pornstar Darksaber there. Where can people find you?
Devin, which site are you working on?
GitHub.com under the
GitHub.
name Fosnet.
You can find me wherever these guys want me. Maybe I'm talking WandaVision tomorrow. I really want to do a Star Trek show. I update on the PC builds. I didn't do a shirtless PC build this week because the motherboard that I got was incompatible with everything else that I got. So I got a processor. I returned that processor, got another processor, got RAM, got different RAM. So this week, hopefully, we will have the PC build and I won't fail.
Fair enough. And you guys can find me doing the almost everything and anything here on TMG. Wherever help is needed, I basically show up and do it. Anyone watching, be on the lookout for the Facebook pages tomorrow. I said at the beginning of the year we would be premiering multiple new shows over the opening weeks of this year. Be on the lookout for the Facebook page. We will be announcing our second brand new show there. And we're excited about it. That being said, thank you guys for watching. For everyone here on the After Dark team, for Maddie, Alan, Nikki, Devin, Jordan, and Maddie Beer. I would flip that around, but who gives a fuck?
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you guys for watching.